just gonna be a little ranty. I wanted to see you guys and talk to you. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna get on here later tonight. I've just been wiped out with all these activities going on. So, anyways, I posted something on my page, which I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna like leave that up on my community tab, but it like was something that I just I know it sounds so dumb. I just re-saw it because somebody liked it, and then I went to see, and you can see the little thread. It's basically somebody saying, I'm child free and I'm not gonna be your village. Hey, Leroy, Merry Christmas to you too. How are you? And I understood the sentiment. I even liked it. You can see I liked it because I like to support people, even if I don't agree with you. Like, if you're not hurting or harming somebody, like, I want to try to like show support where I can, and I just think it's interesting because I don't want to show the whole thread because then you'd see everybody's names. I don't think that's really allowed, but there was like so many other comments that had like dozens of likes, and I'm like, I know this sounds so dumb. When I saw that nobody had liked it, but the person that did today, are like, whatever, and it just was a reminder of like this attitude of people, which I completely support child-free people. I mean that, but it's like it's lost upon some of them that some of us have to have children. Hey, TWC, how are you? And I think it's completely fine to not want children. I don't mean it like that. But I was so close to deleting my initial comment, which was like, I'm sure you contribute to society, like kind of like live and let live. And like, it, and then when I saw how it didn't get any likes and other people got likes, I'm like, did I say something wrong? Like, I know I didn't say anything wrong. It's just like the people, the attitude. I want to delete it and go, like, God willing, you live to be an elderly person, and one day somebody's going to have to like help you and assist you in a lot of ways, and that's going to be somebody's child. So if you're going to say, I'm not going to be the village, don't expect me to be your village, which is completely valid in a lot of situations. Like, I'm not saying this person should bend over backwards for any and everybody with a child when they ask for a favor, but like to say it like that and have such an attitude, and like, you reap what you sow. And I just don't understand how these people don't understand that there needs to be children. There needs to always, unless you want to be like, was it the Quakers, like believe that nobody should reproduce and then we'll slowly die out? Like, if that's what you believe, oh, thank you, Boston George. Hi, Joshua. And that's something, it's like I want to be more uh, positive than anything when it comes to child-free people. I really do support them. But like they need to understand. And if this is you and you're a child-free person and you like absolutely despise kids, like that's your choice. But like try to understand that somebody has to have kids or else like you're going to have nothing. There's going to be no infrastructure operating. Like, somebody has to have the children, and that is what helps you whenever you are older. That doesn't mean you yourself have to have children, but it is nice to not like shit on people that do have children. And you get called a breeder a lot. And not all child-free people are like this with a bad attitude, but I see it quite often, where it's like you don't want people to look down on you, but yet you are so quick to turn around and look down on other people. And like I was on TikTok and like had a lot of fun until I made one video about child-free people, and then it was like it wasn't fun anymore. And I was just making fun of how they always have a dog, and the same people that are like, it's fine to be child free, but to be like, I don't understand how anybody would want another being to take care of. And meanwhile, they've got like this dog next to him with like a sweater and a hat. But you do get it because you're all obsessed with like your animals. So you do understand, and no, it's not the same as having a child, but you do understand the concept of living with another being and being the caretaker of that being. And like for some reason, it's so lost upon you. I thought it was kind of funny and lighthearted, but like I have no sense of humor when it comes to them. And like anyways, and I think that's great and precious. I'm glad that there's animals out there in homes like that. Like I mean that with all my heart. I would never be like, I'm not gonna be your village. Um, I posted it on my post. Yeah, Joshua, I don't do yoga, no. So I guess I would say no, I don't like it. Hi, Chris, how are you? So that's all I wanted to get off my chest about child-free people. And I watched the Barry Weiss town hall with Erika Kirk, which there wasn't much to talk about. Like I was making an edited video and I might put it out there. It'll be like 5 minutes long, but there really isn't that much to talk about. But it was so striking to me. And it's the way I felt before. But now it's like without a doubt, I would bet good money on it. This woman, in my opinion, something's going on, something is not right. The way she acts over people talking about her husband compared to the person she blames for his actual demise is such a stark difference. She's like her eyes, like the way that she does this thing where she like opens her eyes like glares is so creepy. And it sincerely like reminded me, in my opinion, of like an actor when they say crisis actors like know what to do and what like steps to take. They have these certain exercises to help them focus and get into their role, you know. And in my opinion, yeah, I know I'm saying that too much. She's just a complete theater kid, and it's so bad. I am starting to believe more in the clone theory. There was a woman in Florida named Erika Kirk who was the governor's wife, I believe in the 60s. You can look it up, Erika Kirk, Florida governor, and she looked so much like her. It's freaking crazy. And I know this sounds really out there, but this is all really out there to have your husband unalived in such a way and then to go out often, all giggles and happy, looking fresh-faced and with, you know, glamorous makeup that's never smudged. Like, this is so out of the norm. Okay, so you can say all day long she's faithful and Christian and she's holding her own and it's actually admirable. But then how do you explain her acting like this towards Candace Owens? That just all goes out the window? That doesn't make any sense to me. To have all the good, faithful, you know, apologies for somebody that supposedly took your husband's life, but you can't be that same way towards a woman or even have the grace to do it publicly, even if you really did despise her behind closed doors. Like you would know better, like, because you would know you're out there saying, I forgive him within 2 weeks about the guy that actually took your husband from you and your children for the rest of your life. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I am so sick and tired of women like Erica Kirk going around telling other women, and she was literally in New York City, going into her 30s and in her mid early 30s. Was she not? Or was she in Arizona? What? She was like a real estate professional, supposedly. That would be a really easy way to launder money, in my opinion. It's just like, you know, when I hear somebody like just doing that out of nowhere for a few years, it's kind of weird, isn't it? And I know it's completely possible. I know that shit happens all the time where somebody tries it and it doesn't work out for them, and you have to like be you know, you have to pay the fees every year, and some people just don't make that many sales to justify paying their dues. I get that. But for her to go around saying stuff about women in New York City shouldn't be replacing family and husband with their career while she was in New York City not having a husband or family and being a professional career woman. Like it doesn't she is like such a joke. And I think she would have been better off just staying like, you know, staying away for a while, playing the grieving widow behind closed doors. It would have been so much more believable. And even this might be more believable. Her anger towards Candace might be a little bit more justified if we hadn't seen you so much being like all giggly and just like a little too happy like, as people have lost their spouses and commented, and I can only imagine. Like, there's women saying, like, I couldn't talk to anybody for months without breaking down crying. Like, and they weren't married for decades. Like some of these people, I'm sure, like so used to having their partner around, but something's not right. She's a little too mad at the people that she should at least be saying, "Hi, Isaiah, how are you?" Well, this might be valid to look into. And then she brought up the Egyptian planes, which was so weird how she had to bring it up. And this was somebody said it was 4 hours of taping. I don't know where they got that, but it was like 48 minutes long. And it was obviously like, you know, rehearsed. They had like all these interviews. They always give people the questions beforehand. And this was the best that they could come up with, them just like dancing and dancing around these questions. And um, anyways, it was kind of really creepy. I am 38 years old. Why do I mean, I guess I wonder what people's ages are sometimes. I don't know why so many people ask. Are you ugly Casanova? Erica is evil, high maintenance woman. Yes, ugly Casanova, your name is funny. She, if you're still in here, I think that in my opinion is like a probably like I just can't believe it any other way that like this was contrived somehow. And there's nothing wrong with it. I don't mean this as a dig, but I think there's a lot of men who are homosexual, and Charlie Kirk may or not have been one of them. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But it just makes sense that they like anybody that's propped up politically, like they have to have a counterpart. That's what happened to the guy down in Florida. Like he was running for governor and didn't have a wife, which is highly unusual. And then he shows up to, like went to his inauguration ball with this beautiful blonde woman that nobody's ever heard about. I mean, he even called her like Madam X at first. And this guy was a character, the Governor Kirk. He was known as being like very flamboyant. And I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that, but like, well, maybe actually, yeah. He was just like, out there, kind of like rambunctious spirit, it sounded like. And so he showed up with her, and it's just so interesting to me. And I don't believe anything 100%. And I also don't think that I know anything 100%. So this is all us just talking. But I think that Erica is a good example of like, this is a woman I would like my sons to stay away from. If somebody is so incredibly vain, she can't even leave the house without her raccoon eye makeup, smoky eye, any time after her husband passed away. Like that is, she is incredibly vain. It's always been obvious just by looking at her. And yes, you can judge a book by its cover in that way. You can. And it's like, I don't know if maybe naturally she wanted Charlie for the hypergamous aspects, but when you see her background, her parents worked with the, government security, like I can't think of the name of the company now, but like there's definitely a lot of ties going on. And it is so interesting that she lived in New York City, was a real estate agent, and then ended up like, wow, what a life. But the rest of us are all supposed to settle down in our 20s. And I do believe that's a great thing when it happens. I've said that before. Um, thanks, Fox Mulder. I like your name. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it's on the tip of my tongue. The name of the show that detective is from Scully and Fox. Charlie isn't DEAD. He's in Florida under mob protection. Mess with the best, die with the rest. I think that's totally possible, and it would make more sense than whatever the heck is going on, you know? Let's see if she is reading the comments. Robin, sometimes I like don't look at the comments for a little while, but I always end up reading them. Hi, Randy, how are you? You sound jealous of her. No, I'm not jealous of her. I mean, of course, anybody would like to have enough money to where they don't have to worry about money. I would like to elevate our lives in that way. I am not jealous of somebody who uses people and manipulates people, and somebody who would sell out her clothing line in a day of her husband being unalive, but then turn around and say, talk crap about Candace Owens building her business. Or Barry Weiss might have said that, but she said, Candace is building her business off this story. Candace had a very successful podcast long before this story broke. And it's people like her that hide behind their identity of being a Christian and and everything else she hides behind. Like I mean it honestly. Yeah, I'd rather be me in Kentucky than Erica Kirk with like, more money, more problems is very, very true. Like you have that kind of wealth, it's always going to be like people coming at you for a piece of it, people trying to sue you, having to pay extra for like security and everything. Like, I really wouldn't want that kind of wealth. I would like enough that, like, and they've said that, like, you're not any happier with excessive amounts of money. You are happier when you don't have to worry about money. And I think that's why they stress us out all the time. They know that, like, the majority is so big now as the population increases. If they don't control us somehow, then we're going to like wise up and just, and that doesn't mean violence. I mean, it could, but like it just us being able to say, hey, we're not going to buy gas for a week. if like 30% of us didn't buy gas for a week and like used our dollar as our voices, because in my opinion, that's the only real way you can vote anymore. I'm completely disillusioned with the system. Robin said, that's what I'm getting out of it. Complain about others that don't have any impact on your life. But I don't agree with you, Robin. So the reason why I talked about her, and I was bringing up Helen Andrews, the author of the article for New York Times, it was how did or why did liberal feminism destroy the workplace? Which was originally titled How Did Women Destroy the Workplace? You might think, like, why does any of this matter to a stay-at-home mom? It absolutely matters. I have 3 sons. People going around saying this kind of rhetoric, it does influence people. Whether or not you want to admit it, it is heavily influential. And that's why she's coming out like she is, all like raging all of a sudden because they realize, like, oh crap, Candace gets 125,000 views in 1 hour, and they got like 48,000 views in a day. And they know, like, they need to combat this somehow, and they need to do it strongly and really show people they mean business. And in my opinion, nobody's going to really fall for it, but people who are already on the other side. And that's what's so bad about the duality, like people choosing sides. Because some people are going to stick to a side even when they know it's wrong, just because they're so binary. Dirt bike juice, how are you? Candace isn't doing all this talking and digging if it's not something else there. Yeah, I support what Candace is doing. And I just think that if Erica actually was trying to play the game, she'd at least be like less the way they said barely anything and now they're like getting irate is interesting to me. They're obviously like trying different tactics. And it affects all of society, the way that people look at others. And I think that Erika Kirk in particular, and she was talking about how women need to be stay-at-home moms, even though she herself wasn't until never. She's never been really, right? Yeah, I think that it's interesting. And Robin, what does any of this have to do with you? Why are you in here? Because you're interested in something. Erica knew Donald Trump before she knew Charlie, Huey said. Yes. Yeah, I think that might be how she ended up in New York City and like a real estate license. It's really interesting. These people that look down on the rest of us that work really hard for every dollar we make, they just like get to know somebody, make the right connection, and bam, they get like a few $100,000 a year. It would be so easy to be like, oh, all you got to do is get your real estate license. And then every deal I cut, like you'll get the commission. And when you're talking about real estate worth millions of dollars, oh my gosh, you know? So, and it's part of what makes it harder for the rest of us to climb up the economic ladder and why there's so much economic oppression because the people that are at the top are only helping the people like one rung below them or like very few people in the actual working class. And it's a tactic, I swear, even Amazon warehouses use. They know how to keep it so that nobody in the higher up has actually worked on the warehouse floor. And there is something about people running a country that have never actually worked a job. They don't know what it's like for the rest of us. Um, when we get in our 30s, we're supposed to make accusations. Okay, Robin. X-Files. Thank you, Slater. Yes, X-Files. I was even had the song and playing in my head. Oh, that was such a good show. Thank you, C. Jules. I'm sorry your head hurts, Sinfully Righteous. If you have a really bad headache, sometimes putting an ice pack at the base of your neck, it like makes the blood rush down. Like something about an ice pack at the base of your neck can help, but that's more like whole head migraine pain or the back of your head. I don't have a pedicure. I don't do that. Hi, Cole. She's Zaya, right? Infinite. I agree. Do you Taylor Swift? What? Do I know Taylor Swift? If not, hey, Fendi, how are you? Yeah, Jason Hill, I'm pretty ready. We're gonna do tons of Christmas festivities this coming weekend, like in 5 days. You're looping. Am I looping to anybody else, or did that person just say that? Hey, John, how are you doing? 5'1", 134, stay-at-home girlfriend taking her ice skating. Has she ever finished her war paint? I don't know why you're giving her weight and her height like that, but that was funny. I don't know what's going on. Um, Look up why she's banned from Romania. Too many missing children. Yeah, none your business. That was very interesting. Of course, people are going to say she had nothing to do with it, but there are facts that she was involved with a orphanage that was involved with an army base where there was confirmation that there was activities like that happening with higher ups. Something struck me, and this was a video on YouTube, and I just don't feel comfortable making edited videos. I'm like, I know I'm a little too paranoid. Like, it was them giving Christmas gifts to children, and it was soldiers, and it was the only time I've ever seen soldiers not dressed up like soldiers doing something soldier-like. They, like, don't even go, to McDonald's or, like, to the airport without their uniform on when they're, like, active duty here, right? Isn't that, like, the rule? Why aren't they in their military uniform? Just struck me. It was creepy to me, honestly, that they were in plain clothes. It was weird. Absolutely not one Christmas decoration. They're like, "We're trying to make it like Christmas." "Oh, thank you, Ben, sent 100. Thank you so much, Ben." "Oh, you did it twice. Thank you." And, yeah, that was this really small channel. I wonder if that's still up. The truth is out there, Fox Mulder. Yeah, and I just think this stuff is fun to talk about, especially because I hadn't gone live in 2 days and I like missed you guys and I have a shit ton to edit and I should be editing now, but I took a break. And so my voice is kind of hoarse. I was already talking and I'm like, it is definitely way more fun to go live. Slater said 30-06 did not KILCK. Candace is over the target. Yeah, I support what Candace is doing. I don't trust anybody 100%. And I also wonder if she isn't controlled opposition somewhat, honestly. Hi, Faisal. How are you? Faisal? Saeed? But she did uh no, I did not paint this frog hop. My background is like this fabric tapestry from Amazon. I need to post that one day. I have a black light on it and it's really cool. It was like $8 and something too. Hi, Brad. How are you? Oh, I'm glad you're doing good. Mrs. Ohms needs help. What does that mean, TWC? So yeah, I think that anybody that was suspicious or on the fence, if you watch this, I took a clip of her eyes, like this face she makes, and just like it makes no sense to me that she's making these faces and glaring and flashing her blue eyes. But thank you, Ben. She wouldn't do that when she's talking about the person that took her husband from this earth. It makes no sense. And this very wise person, she, like, I think it should be against some kind of rules or regulations to even give somebody like $150 million to be the editor in chief of any one particular publication that's known to be like for public discourse. I don't know. I know that sounds too like socialist or something, but it's just, I wish people just had an ethical backbone and like just knew better than to do these things because this woman, like she was a woman Helen Andrews was talking about who was like known, people just took her for a racist. Oh, I wonder why. But like she's also always been a proponent even on Joe Rogan several years ago talking about like anti-Semitism and so it makes sense like those, I forget the names, they bought it, I mean, it was recently bought by some no people and then they make her the editor in chief, give her so much money. And then, like, this is one of the first things she chooses to do with her new platform. And it was so bad. And like, this is a good example of why people lean towards even like, and I'm not saying I'm like, I'm not talking about me. I'm very, very amateur and I get that. But people lean towards YouTubers in lieu of like actual produced TV because and once you get used to genuine people giving you their genuine thoughts that aren't scripted, like it's hard to go back to that overproduced in oh my, the shape of your nose compliments your jawline so well. Shoestring trucker, that's such a nice compliment. People usually say something mean about my nose, so I really appreciate that. And that's what I always felt like if I ever got a nose job, I'd be scared I wouldn't look the same. I've seen it happen to other women that had what somebody might call a big nose, but it's not big. It like actually complements her face when she gets it worked on. It looks, there was a woman on Real Housewives years ago. I forget her name. but thank you. Just like can take away from your individual looks. TWC said, "Yep, I seen Tim Pool angry at Candace." Oh, I've never seen anybody rant like I saw Tim Pool rant. I don't know who that is, Fuzzy Forge. Well, right now we're talking about Erika Kirk, Faith, Family, Honor. Oh, thank you, Fuzzy. No, don't get your nose done. Yeah, I won't. I'm too scared to get, I don't want surgery. Even if I made tons of money, I wouldn't get any surgery like that unless it was like something I could not get put out for. Like I would get this eyelid fixed. Because I think you can do that without getting put out. But I've been put out like 3 times before. I don't wanna go under surgery if I don't have to. Thank you, Albert. Imagine if it was the brothers running the back office, the books would be a nightmare. I don't know what you mean by that, Max. I think that, are you what office are you talking about too? Because anybody gets corrupt when left to their own devices. Like white people, if that's what you're saying by the brothers, like white people commit way more white collar crime, right? Fuzzy, I love your hair. What do you use? Oh, Fuzzy, I just use Head and Shoulders. I got this Shea Moisture. Hey, Mr. Carey, how are you? I got this Shea Moisture shampoo, but like I have to have that zinc in Head and Shoulders. I just have to. Fendi, did you see how Erika Kirk did a town hall with Barry Weiss? It was a, what is it, CBS? I think it's CBS Barry Weiss works for now. It was two, oh my gosh, no, it was 2 hours. It was like 48 minutes, right? I'm getting things confused. It was ridiculous how mad Candace gets. I mean, I'm sorry, Erica gets like talking about Candace and mods are suddenly present. Frog hop. Oh, thank you, Visal. That's so nice. But yeah, I think that it is a shining example of why people were like turning, like the way she acted in the first few weeks was so bizarre. So coupled with you're gonna forgive the killer of your husband, but then you're gonna get so mad at anybody that questions anything when there hasn't been a trial. And she brought up the jury pool being too tainted to have a jury. And I thought that that was interesting. I'm from Kentucky, shoestring trucker. I live mostly in Southern Indiana, like Louisville, Kentucky. It's kind of like Midwestern. But a lot of people, even here in Southern Kentucky, South Central Kentucky, they don't have accents. And then some people have very strong accents. Oh no, I've never gotten an offer from anybody. Doesn't she have kids at home who lost a father? So much for traditional values. That's what I was saying. It's like she said about the Mom Donnie, is that his name? How are you doing, Mr. Carey? They said that, um, "Aw, you're arguing with your sons. I'm sorry to hear that." She was saying she's worried about women not focusing on family and a husband and using the government as a replacement. And then she specifically mentioned career woman, which means that makes no sense to me. Because you think she's talking about what people usually call welfare queens, but no, she's talking about like women who want to work instead of having a family. But that's literally what she was doing. She lived in New York City and had a real estate license in her like mid or late 20s and was like working and not having a family. It's just so insane to me. See, I think the women that are sincerely like on their own, child free, on a career path and happy and confident, they don't like walk around trying to tell other women what to do. Just like the women who are happy with motherhood, they don't walk around telling other women why they should be moms because like they know better than that. And like it's something that people that don't like the situation that they're in do. It's like misery loves company. I do believe that. And man, I can't make sense quite like this. I don't think these are professional women trying to get other women to be professional because they hate it. I mean, obviously that's not what's going on. It doesn't make any sense. I can see that doesn't make sense. From Tennessee, the truth. You're from Tennessee? And Mr. Kerr is born in Indiana. And I said at the beginning, um, whenever people ask about my cup size, you guys know nothing about bras. Every woman has a sister size. Even if you are an A cup, there's a B cup that is equivalent. Look it up. If you're like 36 A cup, you can also wear 34 B cup sometimes because bras are so different and every cup, like they can be different, spaced apart differently and everything. And depending on the woman, like the The number is just the width around your rib cage. You guys don't know what you're talking about at all. For people who obsess so much over the female body, it's quite ridiculous. You think 36 like has something to do with the cup size? It doesn't. It's the band that's under the boobs, the width around the circumference of your rib cage, basically. And there's a thing, yes, sister sizes. So whenever somebody's like A cups and you're trying to like and I purposely wear like sports bra types things because I don't care to look flat chested because I am very modest chested. So it's like I'm either uncomfortable wearing a padded bra that has underwire and it's just not comfortable for me because those are more for women that like need more support. And when you don't need that support that way, it's like so fucking uncomfortable. So yeah, I just want to give you that little lesson. Yeah, it's called sister sizes. Women like bras are all over the place the way they're designed. It kind of really sucks. And that's another reason why it's so much easier to just get like the stretchy ones and be done with it, and just like um women who are single and work do nothing but tell people what to do. Oh, I think some women, not most. I don't think most women. I think women, and they say this, but of course, like, what is happiness when you're polling people on it? But they say the happiest people are single women. And I just I think that they, perpetuate this narrative of, like, the lonely cat lady. There's no female loneliness epidemic, though. They do that because they're trying to get men. "Listen, I'm 56, losing my hair, and I only have 4 teeth, but have a great salary. Can we go on a date?" Shoestring. I've been married for 15. I'm married, Shoestring. People shouldn't judge someone for what they find rewarding, the truth said. Um How big is your dick? And tell me the girth and the length of your penis. Well, it's like me saying that. Like nobody talks like that to men. You know what I mean? It's really annoying to have the sexual parts that are like more on display. We don't treat you guys like that. We don't walk around saying that. That would be highly inappropriate, wouldn't it? Am I going to get reported for saying that? Listen, all sizes are amazing. Small and perky or huge and in your face, the truth. Yeah, I totally understand the appeal of like, boobs can be so great. But I'm a straight woman, so like I do feel for you guys, but at the same time, that's part of like the problem with the downfall of society is so many men are so ruled by their lust and like they can't even like look at a woman without thinking like I never ever look at a man and think I wonder how big his dick and balls are. Like it's just never a thought that ever crosses my mind because I'm not oversexed and I'm completely satisfied with that area of my life. And so yeah, that's another double standard that I feel like if men had to deal with it, they would like your egos would be so bruised if we talked about your bodies the way you talk about ours. And I've said this before. My husband's the only man I've ever been with I broke up with that didn't turn around and talk about me in a disparaging way about my flat chest or something, like just trying to like be mean to me. And that's like, um, yeah, y'all are just as emotional as us. You just don't know how to process it, and that makes for even worse scenarios. That's why you commit over 90% of violent crime because we try to socialize men that they're not emotional creatures. And then they bottle them all up and act out. Do I talk about what with my girlfriends? The truth. Cup sizes? Yeah. Hi, Jed. How are you? Oh, thank you, baby blah. Baby blah or baby blue hot dog water? Baby blah. Oh my gosh, I forget what it was. I pronounced something so fucking funny. Oh my god, I need to nighttime to get the right time to get the measuring tape, Fendi. No, no. You're like one of my sons, Fendi. Jake earlier, he's like, you're like a second mom. Because I wrote him and I was like, how are you doing? I was just checking in with him. And that made me so happy. That's how I look at you, Fendi. So I don't even though I'm mom, oh no, 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 no. No, I'm not gonna um You do talk about our bodies like that. Okay, John Gotti, I'm sure some women do, but I'm saying in general, no, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. You didn't grow up seeing movies like what was that movie? Like an American Pie type movie where there was like literally like a collage of boobs, like 100 pairs of boobs floating across the screen. We never saw like 100 peckers floating across the screen. No, you have no idea what it's like to have your body parts that were made to give babies sustenance so over sexualized that you had to fight for your right to nurse your baby in public. You had to like women had to have nursing to make it a point in this country where like we're all so obsessed with cleavage and boobs until they're used for what they're supposed to be, you know? Imagine if peckers were on display, they fluctuate with the weather and mood, Max says. Yeah, that's a good point, Max, and I'm glad for your sake that they're not. Nipples can be the same. Like, just I should have put adults only. All of my stuff, I always say no kids, but like, yeah, when you're smaller chested, I don't want to walk around looking like Jan Brady. You know what I mean? I don't want to walk around with like pointy looking boobs. And that's like one of the only reasons I do wear a bra most of the time in public. Um, because so I can kind of commiserate with that. It's normal to size people up, but I don't sexualize every woman I see. That's just weird, the truth. Yeah, I understand you take in data points about people and like especially if a woman is like very well endowed, like I think everybody notices that, right? But that's why I'm like trying so hard to instill in my kids, like you can't help how you are, and everybody's beautiful in their own way. And it would be so boring if we were all the same. And refashioned hippie, I bring her up a lot. She has a very big chest, and she was like got a hate comment, and they're like, "Put those things away," and she's like, "Where am I supposed to put them? What do you think I can like retract them back into my body?" She goes, "I can't. That's your penis." She barely ever talks like that either. I was like, gosh, she must get so many comments because I mean, you know, when you're built like that, like you could wear a potato sack and you could still tell, you know? So you might as well do what she does. I don't think she capitalizes off of that, but you know, she makes it a part of her thing. Like she knows she's built like that. Facts, truth is natural, John Gotti said. I would have trouble with putting my pecker on display. Mr. Carey, stop. Sun zoned X. Oh, X, no. But you do look nice though, Liz. Oh, thank you, Fendi. I really like this collar on me, this like jewel tone, but like I was kind of disappointed. I watched the shirt and like it's got lace on it and it kind of like puckered up a little. Whatever. Thank you. I need to get a steamer. I've been wanting a steamer. I've been like dropping the, I don't know. I don't, maybe I should wait until Christmas time because I keep saying I want a steam cleaner. I'll be so happy if I get a steam cleaner. Um, AW. This is interesting. She has kids. Fuck this. I'm out. Stop repopulating. Well, AW, I had all my kids 18, 16, and 8 years ago, and you're still in here, which you're probably not. Who do you expect to help you when you're an old person? That's the point I made with the child-free stuff. Hi Hastings, how are you? I'm completely okay with people choosing not to have kids. I can't stress that enough. Even if so many people chose not to bring kids into this world for their own personal reasons, like, and that affected me in my old age, I'd be okay with that. I mean that. I know myself. I'll be okay with that. I'll be like out in the woods just waiting to like, you know, die when it's my time. But like I don't understand the attitude of so many people without kids saying, fuck you, I'm not going to be your village. I made a post where somebody said that, like, I'm not going to be your village. And I even responded to them. I was like, that's fair enough. Like, I'm sure you do something to contribute to society. Like, we're all just trying to survive now, anyways. But then I noticed because somebody liked it, and I was like, I forgot about it because it's like 3 days old. And I noticed and I see the thread that had formed under my comment, and just like these people are like, they're not all like this, but they can be so hateful towards people with kids, just like that stop repopulating. Do you really want the world to like end in one generation? Like, really think about that. Do you not want to have health care possibly when you need it, when you're older? And why can't people understand when they're paying taxes for schools? Like, they're like, I shouldn't have to pay taxes when I don't even have children, but you live in society. And it is important to you that there are educational opportunities for people who are going to possibly help you one day. I don't know why that is lost upon people, but we need to like teach them this. That doesn't mean, like I said in the beginning, you have to bend over backwards and like babysit for the people with the kids. I don't mean it like that. Like, don't be the village. That's why I supported the comment initially. I'm like, yeah, good for you. I get it. And like, I'm always going to try to show support when I can. But then, yeah, when I saw the conversation under it, I was like, I'm like, people need to have children. Somebody needs to have children, or there would be literally nothing anywhere. Like, how are people so wrapped up in their own little universe that they don't understand the concept of society? You saying something about second sons? Fendi, I was said you're I don't know why I said second sons. I meant I'm like a second mom when I was thinking about it. I don't know why I said second sons. Where you guys are like sons to me, you guys in your 20s. I'm a great father. I did all of the breastfeeding, shoestring chucker. That's funny. Oh, my husband was so sweet about that. I remember one time he said he wished he could, and we both like started crying. Why, what's the biggest you've had? Oh, see, I don't talk about stuff like that, X. And when I do talk about my past, I feel bad about it. I only do it when I have to, not have to, but when I want to try to share something with somebody. And I always say, like, I wish I could take back all experiences, but it, it, um, it really is, hmm. See, I feel like I can't talk about it, like, no matter which way I go about it, you know what I mean? I'll try to breastfeed as well when my child is born as a man. What does that mean? How about a millionaire? Oh, big snake, I'm married. Shoestring checker. Everyone is not beautiful in their own way. There are some ugly ass people around. Yeah, okay, you are right. But like most people do have more beauty, I think, than most people give them credit for. They're so like narrow-minded with their like strict beauty standards. And if somebody doesn't fall into something, like I just see beautiful traits in people. Like even if it's just like the color of their eyes. And I subscribe to your channel. I'm going live on mine Tuesday. Jed, okay, Jed. I'm gonna try to find you. Sometimes it's hard to find you. If you don't mind, like, if you want me to sub to your channel, comment, like a real comment, not a chat comment. You know what I mean? Comment on a video and say, uh, I have the channel you wanted to sub to or something. Hi, Hastings. How are you? Hi, David. How are you? I am 47 and didn't have children, but now I am sad I didn't. The truth, I don't know if you're a man or woman or neither, but I'm sorry. And this is a sensitive topic. I always think about people like you that like it just didn't work out for, and I try to think like, you're always looked over, and I'm sorry about that. I really do. I'd like to think that I believe in reincarnation, and I know it's not like, oh, you'll remember that next life or something. But like I really do feel like our destinies are pre-planned. There is free will. At the same time, that's what the book The Alchemist is so great about. I like to give that book to like young people that are turning 18. Um, Big Snake, I have a husband. Migo, we're gonna have robots by the time we get old, so we don't need kids. LOL. Oh, that's a scary thought, Migo. Oh no, I don't know if I want a robot wiping my butt. Ooh, I'd be scared. Like, some big machine that's gonna like move towards me to like flip me around so I don't get bed sores. That would freak me out. There's like robots in some factory, like robots that are like doing a whole job, and it's usually like in a cage and it's like whipping around, and it's like whatever you do, do not get in that cage when that robot's doing its job, because you will like get maimed, it's like so strong and it's big. And that's like what I think about. And I think about I think we'll always need some people, but I also like the infrastructure. We don't really have a power grid that could sustain all that jazz. But I know they're like, any advice for a 47-year-old man with a beautiful woman going through early menopause? She is 45. Oh, well, I don't want to give any medical advice, but like if she's really going through a lot of symptoms, she should try to find a doctor that can help her with a hormone replacement, like ideally bioidentical. I don't know if that's like accessible to you, but just caring enough to ask about it is really nice, you know? I'm sorry, I don't really have much advice besides hormones. If she is suffering from like hot flashes, there's actually The Medical Secret, I believe that's the name of his channel. He's an anesthesiologist and he's one of the good doctors. He's one of the doctors that acknowledges how much doctors gaslight us and don't pay attention to their patients and like things are so bad in our country. And he had a video recently talking about how hot flashes are a sign or like heart like if you have severe hot flashes, that's not good for your heart health. And why doesn't anybody talk about that? It's just something women have to grin and bear, just like all of our medical issues. So if she's having really bad hot flashes, she should really like take that seriously and try to find a doctor who takes it seriously. That's the thing. Um, and then people say it doesn't work, but I have had success with topical progesterone cream, but people say it doesn't work. It's derived from wild yams. I think it works. But what if it malfunctions though and wipes your ass too hard? Fendi, that's what I'm worried about. Ooh, I subscribe to you, Frog. Frog Hop has a channel. The truth, it's never too late, but with my partner, she's 45 and not gonna happen for us. Right, the truth. I don't know if you have any other children or like animals or whatever, I just think that everybody makes a difference. Even some people they do have kids and they don't do anything for them, like just because you don't have them biologically doesn't mean you can't influence them. But I know it's easy for me to say it. I'm sure you've considered like foster care, but yeah, I really do feel for people in that boat. And all these conversations, it's just like so assumed that like people can either do it or not, because that is the way it works out for a lot of people, but they don't take into consideration there's always people watching that are like, yeah, I wish it worked out for me. A person could wipe too hard just as easily, Mike said. Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. I divorced mine when that shit started, Haas said. I hope you're happier now. I hope you made it out the other side. The truth, you definitely have a twin in Tennessee. I know a girl that looks just like you. You told me that before. I've been told by somebody that they know somebody that looks like me. I do poetry and paracord, cooking and baking. Oh, that's cool. Jed, on your channel, that sounds really cool. I'm gonna try to find you, but I hope you comment. And Frog Hop, if you like anybody, if you comment, you should have like a post. I should post and have people comment under the post that's like their channels. That's crazy, there aren't that many good doctors left. No, the truth, it's really sad. Hi, Simple Ed. I think a lot of them do know better and want to be better, but they're just like kind of backed into a corner. They paid all this money in student loans, and now they just have to like go along to get along. We have a dog and a cat. We have talked about adoption, but just don't know. Right, the truth. I know that's like so easy to just say. Well, shows you're a good partner, just like trying to ask another woman for advice on dealing with it. I hope you guys get some relief soon. Bill, good afternoon. I was just watching East Coast Cabin Fever, then all of a sudden you appeared. Oh yeah, I subbed to that guy. I think I subbed him because of you, or was it Mr. Carey? I think I'm subbed to that guy. Darth, all mods are simps. That's funny. Mm. Oh, Simple Ed, cheeseburgers, but um pizza sometimes, you know what I mean? Most of the time, I would choose cheeseburgers. Yeah, I do those things on my channel, Jed said. So Jed has a small channel, and Frog Hop might not be in the chat anymore, but they have a small channel. Anybody that likes to sub to small channels. Oh, they're green, Simple Ed. No, CW, I do vape, but they're like the CBD gas station vapes. I don't really get stoned. Been staring at this light since like 1 o'clock. I filmed a lot of stuff until my phone storage got full. And I'm like, I'm going to take a break and go live now, but now I'm gonna like get off of here soon and edit. I'm like determined to try to get in the algorithm with my edited videos. I saw this guy that has like a very small channel get like over 300,000 views on a video about how they ask you to donate everywhere you go and like why you shouldn't do that. And I was like, good for him. I subbed to him too. Of course, I forget the name of his channel, but I was like, this is the kind of topics I need to do edited videos on. Like I knew like Abraham Lincoln wasn't going to get in the algorithm, but I personally don't donate whenever they ask me to because I know that like most of the money you're donating is going to like the overhead and the higher ups and the corporation. giving the whole dollar. That's why it's called March of Dimes. Literally like 10 cents of every dollar. That's what they used to say. They probably said, "Oh no, that's not true." Basically, it's somewhere close to that if it's not that. They give most of the money, they keep it for themselves. And it's like I worked so hard every time I've worked. My husband's worked so hard his whole life. Like I'm not gonna just like give our money away. So like people that don't work hard can just like collect money from the rest of us under the guise of charity. I'd rather give money like that, like straight to somebody that like I know needs it and will actually use it. Like so he was saying the same thing, like most of it doesn't go to the places you think it's going to, and the companies can use it as a tax write-off. That should be illegal to collect other people's money and use it as a tax write-off. Like these loopholes like that, like that's the kind of shit we should all be like, let's try to change this instead of but he actually told this story about how, like, a woman in the drive-through got mad at him about it, and I was like at first I had trouble believing it, but it's like, I don't whatever, whatever. Perhaps it happened, but sometimes I feel bad, and, like, I used to say why, like, almost every time I felt like I had to, like, give a reason why, and be like, and when I'm getting my driver's license at the driver's branch, which, like, yeah, I do that a lot, we've moved a lot. I say that like I do it a lot because I do it a lot, and, like, they ask me to be a donor, I'm like, "No, but I'm not because I have all these autoimmune issues, I don't think anybody wants my blood." And I'm like, I feel like I don't have to give excuses now finally in my late 30s, which is nice. Food is always a universal topic everyone loves, the truth said. Thank you for saying that, the truth. Yeah, I was thinking about making like a cheap meals video because I know those are always popular and like I like to make like lentils once a week. And Mike said it makes me mad. Why is Walmart asking me to donate to a charity, one of the richest corporations? Yes, Mike. And then what they use that money to buy food from their own stores to donate. Yeah, Mike, I completely agree. It makes me mad too. Simple Ed, if you could become any animal in the world for a day, what would you become? You would be a tiger, Simple Ed. I think it would be fun to fly, so a bird or even a flying squirrel, I'd be happy with gliding. I saw this video where this guy thought a mouse was in his house and it was a flying squirrel and he was like shooing it at down these stairs and he realized the moment he realized it was a flying squirrel and not a mouse. Oh, have you guys seen that video? It was so funny. There's so many times I hold back from posting videos because I'm like, I don't want people to think, I don't know, I just don't want to clog up your feeds with like reposts like that. Walmart needs your help, militant prepping. The truth, most donation places are scams. If you look at the donation laws, they give them $100 and they only have to give $1. Right, the truth. Right, right, right. That's what I'm saying, like, I haven't for years and years, and I had this friend that had a special needs child and started fundraising for the March of Dimes, and yeah, I'm that person, I am. I pulled her aside, I was like, "Do you know the truth about the March of Dimes?" Like, "I don't know." And then she went ahead with it, of course, like, then, like, a year or 2 later, she's posting on Facebook about how she didn't know about the March of Dimes, and just like, "Oh my gosh," like, "Yes, I tried to tell you." But that's another reason why I got off of Facebook and like you're not easily going to change anybody's mind in that sort of way on social media. You know what I mean? No, you have a YouTube channel and people like listening to your commentary, they're like more likely going to have open ears to listen to you. It's like your old high school friends, they don't want to learn from you. I hate these things to hang shirts up. I usually cut them out. I need their fundraiser PR team. Sheesh, I haven't donated anything since 2013. Good for you, Moonshiner. How are you doing? There's a report card that shows you that most run less 30% admin, so you're wrong. Well, they have all this other overhead besides administrative fees, BBing. Yeah, you can if you have a 501c3. BB. Dirt Bike Juice said. Ugh. Mike, guys, it's so stressful being a billionaire. Please donate to Walmart. Hi, Hulk Hogan's. How are you? Hi, Moonshiner. Hey, Diamond, how are you? Well, have fun doing Christmas stuff. I'm doing tons of Christmas stuff next weekend. It's kind of ridiculous. Um, but anyways, I'm not complaining. Hi, Moonshiner. Maybe lay off the Botox for a minute, out of this nonsense. I'm kind of flattered. You think I've ever had Botox? I've never had Botox. If I was gonna spend money on Botox, don't you think I'd like, I don't know, I guess my eyelid isn't that bad today. I would like pick something else. I don't know. Dye my white hair that needs dyed. Thank you, Bicorn. Um, paid video call service available. No and no, no. I'm sure you could find somebody that does that. Moonshiner, I was just saying how people that not all people, some child-free people have this attitude of I'm not going to be the village. And I saw this person commenting about it, and it was just interesting. Is I know not all child-free people, but my point was like somebody has to have children, and it is all the village. You know, you can't live in society, and the same people that like complain about paying school taxes, like I understand where they're coming from, I do, but they need to think long term and realize like there's people that have children in your community, and those children need an education, and those children, you're paying for the infrastructure for everybody, including the people that might one day be driving a car to your house to help you with something. And like somebody has to have children, and it's like they are so short-sighted. And once again, not all child-free people. And then I was just talking about how Erika Kirk is, in my opinion, a total freak. And she was on this town hall with Barry Weiss where she was so irate. And she's done this, I think, what was it, like Megan Kelly or something? She did this somewhere else where she just like her face, like it takes a lot to like scare me with your eyes. And I'm gonna say something I might regret, but I kind of understood why the term white devil was coined because she's fucking scary with her bright blue eyes and the way she literally does this thing where she's like, it's like, why are you opening your eyes as wide as possible like that? Almost as if, in my opinion, what some people do is some kind of like acting exercise, like getting into character, getting ready to say the line, like it's weird. And my whole point is if you can act like that about people talking about your husband's death, but you're like, oh, cha la la, I forgive him about the guy that actually allegedly did it. That's weird. And it proves that she's weird. Yeah, donate your time or directly to the source, the truth. Yes, that's a good point. And just volunteering your time is also going to be very helpful. Militant prepping tortoises live a long, long time, and they basically just eat and hang out with their spouse and make baby tortoises. That's the life for me. I love tortoises. There is something special about them. Now, I don't know if I would ever want one as a pet, especially because of their long lifespans, but I follow this page that's Garden State Tortoises. It was really cool. This guy, he like he'll go all over the place to get like this one tortoise was living on somebody's kitchen floor for 50 years and they were feeding it like lettuce and cat food and it was in horrible shape and it was amazing the way they brought that I don't know exactly what kind of turtle or tortoise it was, but I do think they're super interesting. I love the really big ones. Fun with Cars. Hi, from Buffalo, Niagara Falls, New York. Oh, that's cool. Fun with Cars. I look dead inside. Oh no. Hi, Acid Burn. How are you feeling? Are you back to yourself yet? Are you still um yeah, it's funny. Get a nose job first. Yeah, I'm not a bot. Okay. See, it's like I said before a million times, it really is like a social experiment. This is why I said, and before anybody else says it, no, I don't think I'm the prettiest woman in the world, but like pretty privilege, with it comes a whole bunch of shit that gets thrown at you. People think because you're pretty, you get stuff just like handed to you your whole life. It's not like that at all. It's like a constant feedback about the way that you look. I've been underweight and I've been a little overweight. And like no, you seriously, like, you literally it's the constant comments. It's either like, eat a cheeseburger," or, "Lydia, I never thought I'd see you get this big." And I was like 140 pounds. That's not even that big. You're just, like, not allowed to live as a woman. And, one thing I wanna make a video on is, like, they don't talk about it enough, I feel like, you don't gain fat cells in adulthood besides pregnancy. Like after puberty, you don't gain fat cells. It's just like when you gain weight, the fat cells you have get bigger. So, like, some people might argue against this, but it's like it makes sense that like the more fat cells you have, the easier it is going to be for you, or even maybe just certain body compositions, maybe not across the board. But this is one reason why so many women say their body changes, they can never get back to where they were before. You're literally gaining extra fat cells, unlike any other time of your adult life. And nobody talks about that. Like, why do we keep these things from women? Um, and I know maybe it's not being kept from women. Why are these things not trending topics and more interesting to more people? The truth said so cringe talking about someone's appearance behind a keyboard. I know the truth. And like people that think every single, well, the newest troll has been people basically saying that I act too young. It's like you can't exist as a woman without being overly criticized. But at the same time, um, it is a double-sided coin. Like I said, there is something about being able to go live and get like over 50 people to tune into you too. I worked in an accounting firm. I asked the partners why we only have one charity as a client, and they shook their heads and said people who are real shakers and movers tend to be involved in charities. Oh, that's really interesting, Mike. Thank you, TWC. Yes, I don't do OnlyFans. Um, Manual or automatic at the strip, Moonshiner asked Fun with Cars. I like manual more, but auto more consistent, Fine with Car said. You hear some so sad, a 6-year-old girl passed away in a go-kart track in Florida. Like I've never been to a go-kart track that let 6-year-olds on them. Most of these men don't have a house, but want a housewife. Hardaway has parking. Yeah, yeah. See, it's always my teeth, and I do have like a yellow light, so that doesn't help because the white light is like too bright for my eyes. But my teeth really aren't, no, they're not bright white. But the constant comments on a few things. This is why there is a male loneliness epidemic because you can't tell me these aren't all males, okay? I know there's a chance there might be a woman or two thrown in there, but do you guys agree with me? The vast majority of comments digging on my looks, and women can be brutal psychologically and like in person. They're like all competitive and shit. But whenever I get a snarky comment, I automatically think it's just some man who hasn't been laid in a while and he's mad about it. Does renting an apartment count? Moonshiner. I think it does. Gosh, it's even more expensive to have an apartment. Fox said Erica isn't even a good actor. You can tell she tries hard to sell it. Yes, she really is like a theater kid. She's like overly emotive. Uh, Astersby, what's your favorite all-time TV show? That's a really hard question. Oh my gosh. I like older shows. I would say something like I don't know. I just like love I Love Lucy, The Wonder Years. I grew up watching The Wonder Years. It would definitely be something. Seinfeld, I think Seinfeld is one of the best shows of all time personally. It's so classic. You can still watch at least me, I could watch almost any episode and like find it just as funny. And the fact that it's so timeless. But yeah. What is the content of this channel about? I accidentally flipped to it from another stream. Oh, fun with the cars, fun with cars. I'm all over the place. I talk about stuff like I'm talking about now more often, but I'm from Kentucky and I talk about Kentucky a lot. My edited videos are all over the place too, I guess. Yes, if you find a woman who is okay with living in a one-bedroom apartment forever. The truth. I have a scar on my face. I got bit by a dog in '86. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it didn't make you scared of dogs. Hi, Maiko. How are you? I still get stuff blocked. That woman still got me blocked with stuff that I can't see. Who was the queenie? No, I unblocked everything acid burn. Well, I'll go look at the list again. I just looked the other day. It's so annoying because I have to do it on my browser and it's like super small, but I should be doing it like every week. Hey, Sudarshan, how are you? Is it Miko or Maiko? I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Um, 70% better. Oh, I'm glad to hear you're getting better slowly but surely. Thank you, Anonymous. YouTube is promoting your channel and vertical stream. Oh, that's cool. That makes me happy. I don't know who that is, Mila. Charlie's wife is being threatened with her family. What do you mean with her family? What do you mean? Like her past? Some of the prettiest girls I've ever seen had the worst personalities ever. Yeah, it's because they never had to try, right? In my opinion, a lot of them are like just underdeveloped because Yeah. Um, a little big isn't a bad thing. 'Tis what it is. I don't know what you're talking about. Custom car air freshener is made for your vehicle. Upload any image. Oh, Mirror Tech car freshener. That's kind of cool. I'll leave that up. That is a really good idea. Oh, Acid Burn, thank you for sending KWR a membership. Thank you. Hi, Blaine. How are you? I feel like um I'm just going to keep repeating myself because I feel like there's more people entering. The quadratic function, what about it? What's its derivative? Waffle? What are you- Oh my gosh, is there a waffle? What is this function? Oh, okay. Seinfeld sucked, Acid Burn. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. You've missed out on a lot. Are there any shows from that era you like? See, because I used to like Friends, and now when I watch Friends, I'm like, oh, it's okay. Some episodes are funny, but some of it I don't find to be that funny. But Seinfeld is still always like hilarious to me. Hi, Andrew Fox. How are you? Oh, thank you. Andrew said, greetings from England. I wish you a happy and healthy life. That's so nice. Hi, the world, according to Anthony. If anybody has a small channel, you know, let us know you have a channel. Bill Clancy said Gilligan's Island, The Beverly Hillbillies. I also like The Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, those are all good shows. I really liked watching Mary Tyler Moore, like Rhoda. I Love Lucy. What else? I Dream of Jeannie. It's so funny thinking about some of those shows now. But yeah, Bourbon Country. We went to Ark about 6 years ago. Beautiful country. Oh, they have a really nice light show. The Ark Encounter. Somebody I'm subscribed to uploaded a video. Um, Gosh, Jim. I forget his channel's name. But yeah, that looked beautiful. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna make it up there because we're going somewhere that's like 2.5 hours away, and then a few places 2 hours away, and then one place 1 hour away. The ultras are amazing. The Waltons and old movies are the best. Yeah, it is. There is something about like, excuse me, I feel like things are overly produced and it's like music. I like analog recording better. I don't like it when it's things are so like perfect sounding. And have you guys ran across any AI songs that are AI songs, but they're made to sound old and they're like really good, but you can tell they're not like authentically old because they're so digital sounding. But it scared me. There is some songs that I've heard that I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's worrisome because you've got like the worst music ever that's being platformed, in my opinion. Like music just gets worse and worse every year. And now you have like AI music coming in that actually has like really good lyrics and melodies. And it's like, how are people not going to choose that over the crap that's on the radio? I am from Louisville, Pepe, but I live in South Central Kentucky right now. Because we couldn't buy any land, an acre in Louisville. Hi, Blaine. I think I said hi, Blaine. Have you ever seen what Crisco does to a genital wart? No, Dixon. I didn't know that Crisco did anything. I'm sure that's not an effective treatment. Acid burn said, no, I can't say it without getting blocked. Her whole family is being threatened. Oh, acid burn. Well, I have no doubt that there's a bunch of crazy people, threatening anybody. She said they've always had that happen. They've always had DEATH threats towards their family before Charlie got unalived. And so I mean, it's I'm sorry, if I were her, I'd take my millions and I'd go raise my kids out of the public eye. It's the safest thing to do. The only reason she would remain in the public eye is complete narcissism and vanity, in my opinion. She doesn't have to do this. It's almost like she couldn't wait for her husband to be out of the spotlight so she could take over, in my opinion. I know I say that probably I get on your guys' nerves, but it just makes me feel better when I say it after any statement that could be misconstrued is me trying to like report a fact because I really do care about this. But and I know that sounds like I'm being extremely judgmental. I am. I can only imagine if me and Erika Kirk were in the same room, the way that woman would judge me. I can only imagine. Oh my God. Yellow teeth, crooked nose, white roots. Why don't you just get a box of dye? You're so poor, you can't even afford a hair dye from Walmart. You dumb bitch. Yeah, that is the way I think she would sit there. People that live like that, they don't live that way to not look down on the rest of people and think that's why I don't like it when people think they're the chosen people. You know what I mean? Like you automatically think you're above literally everybody else in the world. She comes off as yeah. Fun with Cars, small channel, just reached 5.6 million views. Fun with Cars is awesome. It's a lot. Baywatch is super good. People think it's just Pam Anderson in a bathing suit, but David Hasselhoff is goated. Okay, Mike. Watching from Henryville, Indiana. Oh, WC Hayes, that's so cool. I've driven through Henryville so many times. We used to get our milk from a farmer there. That's so neat. It can be beautiful in that part of Indiana. The truth, I listen to all sorts of stuff. I don't listen to anything really new, like classic rock. I like folk music, bluegrass, but I don't like country. I like some country, but not most country. And like alternate, like Dave Matthews Band is one of my favorite bands. I saw Dave in concert like 6 times. I like to watch Columbo. Oh, Acid Burn, I've never seen that before. Ma and Pa Kettle is one of my favorites, Lloyd Hall. I don't even know what that is. Vinyl records, Alvin said, "Yeah, I can understand why they're making a comeback because it just is like cozier." All in the Family, Alvin, yes. That is the show I was thinking of the other day. And it was like somebody said like women aren't women anymore. And I was thinking of that theme song. And I was like, what is that song? And they're talking about, yes, All in the Family. I love that show. If you guys don't know what All in the Family is, yeah, you should watch it. Yeah, AI is definitely going to be weird, the truth said. Hey Lydia, did you ever check the link I sent you an email? Yes, Fendi, and I did listen to that. I was having a hard time paying attention to the longer video, but I did listen to it talking about the Michigan coach. I grew up on Seinfeld, The Simpsons, King of the Hill, Home Improvement. King of the Hill. Okay, King of the Hill is one of my all-time favorite cartoons. I love King of the Hill. That is something that I would still watch today, if we had it on a streaming thing. Rap sucks. Yeah, Alvin, I don't like rap. It's like country, like every once in a while I do, but Marcus is watching from England. That's so cool. I just accidentally used the YouTube AI speech to song feature. Yeah. Oh gosh, I wanted to create a picture. I'm like, I'm not using AI on my channel. I just have like a thing. I want to like keep it that way, like no AI, period. But they do have this thing in CapCut, that video editing where you can type a script in and then you just speak like a sentence and it will talk the script like using your voice. And it does sound robot-y, but it also sounds like me. It's so interesting. But just like with the robot, like the inflection is off at times every once in a while it pronounces something wrong. And I did make a Titus Morse video with it that I never uploaded. I was like, I don't know. But yeah, the Michigan coach that I'm sorry, I'm so far behind in the chat. I really want to say hi to everybody. I don't think anybody judges you more than yourself, Acid Burn said. Yeah, grifting off the death of someone is so trashy, Bud Russell. I don't know if you're saying that about me or Erica, but Um, Scott Zulo, the way that if you're still in here, the way that Erica treated people talking about her husband's death, or the way she got so irate and just like outwardly angry compared to her like forgiving his alleged murderer was very interesting and says it all. Thank you for sending the high five, wisest ghost. Thank you. And I think that it's more than evident she might, in my opinion, we're not seeing all through the story. If anybody was on the fence before, just look at the way she acted talking about the young man that supposedly killed, and it's just like she said on this town hall with Barry Weiss that it was like somebody told her the next day they think they found the guy. You should thank them and like make a statement. And she's just like, okay. And that was really interesting to me. It just shows that like this is like a big orchestrated production in every way. Every move that is made, it goes through a team of people. I'm sorry, I want to shut my blinds real quick. I just realized my blinds are still open, and then like people driving by, I don't even think they can see, but it'd be so embarrassing if any of my neighbors found out I was a YouTuber. And so I just think it's really indicative of what she's got going on, which in my opinion, something's not right in the buttermilk with that. The lack of self-awareness is off the charts with this lady. Once again, I don't know if you're talking about me or Erica. Moonshiner, liking for Lydia, judgmental self. I'm sure Kirk would talk my ear off for thinking empathy is a word. Yes, I don't agree with, and I was horrified with the way people acted, but, like, I don't agree with Charlie Kirk, a lot of what he said. Okay, I'm gonna say something now that there's 88 people in here at once too. Erica said in the CBS town hall that Charlie worked so hard. He worked so hard for TPUSA, and I'm just in there like, I'm sorry, no, my husband has worked so hard, okay? He's worked so hard since he got out of college, always, like a job, working full time. You don't work so hard talking on the phone, taking money, making friends, rubbing shoulders with billionaires, and having wasn't his first donor a billionaire or some guy with hundreds of millions of dollars when he was 18 years old. That's what started TPUSA. That in and of itself is just like an example of what is going on with our country, and it's all going downhill fast because the only people that can climb up the economic ladder are people that know somebody like that. And that's detrimental for us all when the only people that get ahead are the people that are like within earshot of somebody like Donald Trump, and then it turns into all these ridiculous people walking around like they are now. It's like, no, it's like nobody's really getting to the top. I'm like, I shouldn't say nobody. It less so, it feels like people are getting to the top on true merit. And that just kinda like this attitude of the most wealthy people, he worked so hard, like, talking on the phone, asking people for money, I'm sorry, walking around and talking to people, and you could say the same thing about me. I'm not trying to say I work so hard, and you'll never hear me complain about burnout. You'll never hear me complain about making money by talking on the internet, you know? You'll never you won't. And, that was one thing that I thought, like, take a walk in my shoes. I doubt Kirk knows the struggle. Right. He's never worked a day in his life. And it's so easy for these people that have millions of dollars in the bank who have literally never worked a job in their life. Oh, bye, Fun with Cars, if you're still in here. Thank you for subbing. You're probably not still in here. Jeez Louise. You guys, if I missed something, please re-say it if you don't mind. I'm going after Wisest Ghosts. High five. Um, thank you, the Ani. Friendly reminder that we are one soul split into 8 billion parts. Seth, I love that. That's how I feel too, Seth. I do really feel like we're all connected. Like, okay, I look at it like this. Maybe not our entire soul. I think that like your energy disperses when you die, and then some of it might, this is maybe, these are all maybes, some of it might go to like what is the big one soul we all come from, and that is what some people would consider God or the higher power. It's just like the collective consciousness. But there's still parts of us that are like unique. I'd like to believe in like individual, like on a certain level, but maybe not. And but that's what I think. Maybe it's like more, there's a few different, we can't even conceive of it because we're so used to being like one being, like one person. Hi, Jose, how are you? Hank legit has unintentional Riz, Moonshiner said. Um, Heck, you guys can't even tell if my blinds are open. And I know you guys can't see through my blinds. You have no idea how like isolated my house is. Unless you're a cow. Erica is a terrible liar, terrible actress, Bronx said. Yes, I completely agree. Congratulations for the members. Hi, Daver Zion, how are you? Don't work hard with soft hands. Construction, Tim said. Crabs in a barrel, Jose. Yes, that's a yes. I say that a lot. Jessica Marie, hello. How are you doing? I'm nice. Thanks for asking. Nice to meet you here. I'm from Kentucky, Jessica. Everything is so orchestrated. Yeah, the way I see it, if it's very public, it's been contrived. Like, of course, there's always going to be some outliers. Hi, Hoxton or Hoaxton, how are you? The All-American Nightmare. She is a horrible actress, just saying. Nick Fuentes is right. Yeah, I do agree with him on that. I was listening to Nick Fuentes for a few weeks, and then once he like went off and showed how I thought I was hopeful he had grown out of a lot of his bullshit, but clearly he hasn't. And he's still going to say things like he looks up to Stalin and women shouldn't do anything besides mothering, even being a YouTuber. And when he literally said that, and it's your duty as men to tell all women like me why I shouldn't do anything but birth babies. Could you imagine how boring that would be? Wouldn't that be boring? I think that would be really, really boring. I wouldn't. once again, like in certain things, maybe, but like in most jobs I've ever had, I wouldn't want to work with just women. I wouldn't want that. And like, um, I really don't think most men would want to like, only work with men and have every woman go back to I think that would lead to a lot of unhappy women. And when there was like the most homemakers there for just a little while, really, because for most of human history, most women have worked. But like at the height of like the good economy, when a lot of people were staying at home, um, I totally lost my train of thought. They were all on pills. No, I shouldn't say all of them. A lot of them were heavily medicated. It was very common for doctors, back then they were so willy-nilly with it. People don't realize that. And like now they're the opposite. Like or they will want to give you antidepressants every single time you go in. But you know what I mean with like the happy pills, like Vicodin. All housewives, I'm under the impression they were like chain smokers that took pills to feel better, and it was a way to cope because people think, just imagine, thank you, Jose. I got it from Amazon, my tapestry. Just imagine literally never being productive outside of your house and raising children for your whole adult life. Like anybody could understand, like, I know there's disabled people. I don't mean like disabled people. If you're an able-bodied person, most people want to be productive. That, and like a lot of us would want to be our own boss if we could choose to and work from home. That's still being productive. And that's what I don't get about telling women they need to just be homemakers. Now her name is slipping my memory, but there was a fashion designer. She designed Jackie O's wedding gown when she married John F. Kennedy. She designed a bunch of famous dresses, and it was a black woman. And she like her story was so neat. She got into fashion school. They literally put her in her own class. Like they gave her her own classroom to work in because she was just like excelling at an incredible pace. And like she just like picked up on everything, was so talented, and it was just like that is like such an inspiring story, things like that, where people really did make it from, went from nothing to like something. I think so much of that is so oppressed. When a woman is successful, especially a woman of color, we are so much like less likely to hear it. And the same with black men. The first caver in Kentucky, the first man to really map out a lot of Mammoth Cave was a black man. I think he was a freed slave. And yeah, it's just so many things. The more I find out about history, it's like it's just amazing to me that there were people who are the most oppressed people, and they still pioneered in certain ways. They still pushed forward. I think we could all learn from that. Um, Lucanus, we're just, oh my God, you got me there, you Lou. Gosh darn it. We're just talking. Hugh, hi, how are you? Um, Nick is climbing on the wrong side at this point, pretending the FBI is not an agency of buffoons. Oh, at this point, I think he's the freaking Fed, Bronx bombers. At this, I don't, he always was so like with that official narrative that made me a little suspicious. And obviously, he's got a big enough mouth to say anything he wants, except for when it comes to like going against any official narrative. I've been suffering from anxiety. Sometimes I get dizzy. This deep sadness kicks in. Hugh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hugh, God, this chat is crazy. I'm sorry, guys. If you're still in here, Hugh, you should try deep breathing techniques. There's so many useful YouTube videos for that. Sounds like a job from the 50s that would take less than 40 hours a week and pay for a house, family of four, two cars, and 2 weeks of vacation, right, Mike? Exactly. It was just for a short period of time that was possible, really. I think I've seen a Gundam mecha anime about co-ed workplaces, Moonshiner said. I don't watch anime. Boring because you are not family material. Have fun with your cats. Diva, whatever your name is, I'm a married mother of three. And all three kids in my school, oh my God, I can't talk. All three of my kids I've home educated into middle school at least. Been married for 15 years, 16 in January. What should I get my husband for our 16th wedding anniversary? I should do something. I'll get my YouTube check not too long before it. I mean, I have to use my YouTube check from this month. but I'd like to get him something. He really likes GUNs. So if any of you know of like a good place, a good deal, or like any good sales on like ammo or anything, my email is in my description. I'm just throwing that out there because you never know. Um, yes, I'm married, Wes. Cruella de Vil. That's funny. Oh, you can't call yourself a man if you listen or look up to Nick Fuentes. Come on, dude says, yeah, see, I understand his appeal when he talks about America first. You know, you listen to anybody talk long enough, you're gonna like hear stuff you don't like, right? But like, the way he went off a few times lately and how he talks about having protected sex is gay. That was so bad. I was like, "Oh my God, he's such a bad role model for young men." So all men to say stuff like that, dating women is gay. And he thinks he's being funny. And it's like, this is supposed to be like an influential thought leader, a good political pundit, and you're going to be saying stuff like that. I think it says a lot about the state of some men, not all, but they want to perpetuate that. They don't want men to grow and evolve and like actually look up to real good influential thought leaders that might make them evolve. They want like that's uh um okay, that's doesn't make sense. You can't I already read that. She's not single and not keen to mingle. X. Women were shamed into the workforce in the 60s. Ask a granny. Well, Rusty Shackles, the women in my family always worked. We were always like poorer. My grandma on my dad's side got a master's degree in the 50s, and she definitely wasn't shamed. She got a master's degree. She wanted to go to work. There's a lot of women like, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like a good feeling to get a paycheck, right? Like when you clock out and you feel accomplished and good about having worked a full shift, that is a good feeling, right? I hope some of you know what I'm talking about because this is also felt by women. It feels good in not a like hee hee feel good, happy fifis are all that matters kind of way. In like a I'm content. I don't have to worry. My nervous system isn't in a state of panic because I don't know how I'm going to eat or pay my bills, or all of that is dependent on somebody who is possibly, abusive to me or doesn't treat me right. Like it is a very, very good feeling, especially as a parent to be able to provide for your kids. And I've always felt like that. I've always loved to make money. And I don't think I'm like a greedy person at all, but like and everybody needs money and it's a good feeling to make it. And if you can make it easily, if you have an able body, you shouldn't take that for granted. Need to change channel name to Married in Kentucky. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. My parents had me working in the garden when I was 7 years old, and I had to sit down because I wasn't able to do it because of child abuse before they adopted me. Oh, acid burn. I'm so sorry to hear that. The All American Nightmare. There were African American women who helped design the first space shuttle and do the math for it all. I've heard that before, All American Nightmare. I have heard that. See, it's like so interesting to me. And people want to, and I've said this on my channel, like you can disagree with me all you want. I don't care. After 38 years of life, I've seen how they have tried to hold down women, but Black women in particular. And I think there's a reason for that, you know? Oh wow, a caver, what an amazing accomplishment. Well, Nathan's outside. I don't think you could go walk through miles of a cave system with a freaking candle. I don't think a lot of you guys would have the balls to do that right now. And it was a big accomplishment. It is important for a number of reasons. Was facts because of joy and believed in God. Well, thank you for disliking it. Everything is engagement. And I usually have like literally 2 to 4 dislikes on every video, so, dislike it all you want, un unless I get ratioed and I have more than 75 likes, and they still found ways to pioneer in certain ways. That said everything about you. Um, okay, Nathan's outside. Do you have a channel, Nathan's outside? Why don't you go do whatever you want on your own channel if mine isn't up to par for you? Thank you, Michael. Real talk, that's what happy pills are for, yummy perkaholics. It definitely, I think it might have attributed to like, okay, we talk about how nursing can be an issue, like bonding with the baby, and nobody's ever said this, but I often think, well, back then they were also giving women scopolamine for labor. They were giving them drugs that made them act so crazy. They had to strap down their wrists and their ankles. They had to strap them to a bed, and they'd wake up with like bloody wrists and ankles from fighting and a baby laying on them, having no idea how any of it conspired because they couldn't remember any of it. How does that make for good bonding with your baby? Like I just wonder, is that part of like the disconnect with baby boomers? Babies were being born like that, like up in rural areas. That was being done like through the 50s, I believe. Isn't that crazy? Scopolamine strapping the wrists and the legs down because they were going so crazy. Because imagine the state that you would be in when you're going through the pain of labor and also really messed up like that. I'm sorry, this is so fucked up. So I often think about stuff like that, and then like, oh, and so you're popping the pill when your kids are younger, and how much of a disconnect does that make for, not that there isn't ever a time to use medication like that. Hi, Pyramid. How are you doing tonight? No, Deadpool, I don't wanna say that. I already said loose, Anus on accident. Jaden, you're so beautiful. I love the color of your eyes. That's so nice, Jaden. Thank you. Mr. Carey, I'm sorry. It's too many comments in the chat. Wes said, how did you socialize him? Michael, I hope you're still in here. Especially when we lived in Louisville. I'll be honest, I don't get my youngest out as much as I got my older two out when they were younger. I do want to put my youngest in school probably in the springtime this year. He is nonverbal, very, very autistic, and so I wanna I don't feel quite comfortable, but I also feel like he's not getting enough stimulation with me at home. With the other older kids, we lived in Louisville, one of the best cities to homeschool in, hands down. Field trip groups, you can get like, you usually get very good discounts for joining a field trip, and, that's any and everything you can think of, like plays and trips to the zoo, the science center. There's so much to do, and, like, we're in between Louisville and Lexington right now, so I don't have a great excuse, honestly. I mean, finances, it's kinda hard to travel to a city 2 hours away, more than once a week, but, like, there is more quality socialization, in my opinion, if you get your kid out enough because they are socializing with people of varying ages and varying situations. Like, this is how we socialize dogs when we're training them. But it's true. You don't just socialize your dog by taking it to one room with the same 2 dozen people every day for a few hours, telling it to sit down, be quiet, and shut up. That's not real socialization either, you know? And I know that the other socialization takes place at school, but like, that is always a big concern. And like, we know our children that are social, you know what I mean? Like, some children are just little social butterflies compared to some other children that are just more of introverts. And I think that homeschooling is beautiful because you can indulge in whatever is best for them. Yeah, a kid that's really, really social, like take them, put them in the groups, go to the playground, play groups. And then your kid that is introverted, like you'll end up finding some other introverted kids that like to like hang out at home, and um, so I think it is hard because it's all on you. Women shamed other women into the workforce while simultaneously doubling the available workforce with labor being paid less in the same jobs. 1950, one in three jobs says, okay, Rusty Shackles, I really hope you're still in here. So, okay, you are. All right. Equaling animal psychology to human children's. I'm saying if you do a better job socializing a dog, knowing I need to put it in different situations in order for it to be really socialized, you should be able to wrap your mind around the fact that you do the same with a child. In order to be truly socialized, a human being shouldn't be in the same room with the 2 dozen of the other humans that are within the same year of their age range. I'm sorry, I don't think that's real good socialization. I think I made a great point, actually. I think that was a perfect time to, compare one to the other. But like, yeah, that's my whole point is like, if we can do that for dogs, like, we should at least consider that that is possible for kids. Now, some parents, it's going to be better. They're going to get more socialization if they do go to school. I get that. I'm just saying. um, Dangerous person, zero good advice. Well, I'm not on here to be Dear Abby, Nathan. We're just like commenting on who are you people going around to look for like what you're going to think, your facts on YouTube lives. Anything anybody says, like me, that you think is like a real fact, you need to go check it for yourself, anyways. You need to always double check anything. Like, no, don't believe anything I say, like just because I said it. Moonshiner, let me cover my puppy's ears. I don't want them to know I'm onto them. It's just such a and I do feel like um it's an old trope. Like back when we grew up, it was a lot different. It was mostly religious people. I'm sorry if I offend anybody. Most homeschooled kids were religious from very religious families, and their parents intentionally didn't socialize them. So that weird homeschool kid trope is a thing because a lot of us growing up, the only kids we were ever around that were homeschooled were quite weird acting, and it's not their fault. But it's like not like that anymore. There's more and more people that aren't strictly religious, keeping their kids from school because they're trying to keep them from the world. It's because they know that they need more one-on-one. They'll be better off educationally. And um, Peachwood said children belong in school. Well, I just don't think that all children belong in school literally at 5 or 6 years old. And there's been people that have studied this. And like, if you have a late reader, like, of course, you should try to teach your kid how to read. But if you are focused on that reading aspect and like pushing it, shoving it down their throat, they're less likely, they're going to take even longer to read it. If a kid just like doesn't naturally pick up on something, you need to like go work on some other stuff and like come back to it and not like hyper focus on that and like this so I don't think that all kids should be in school for that reason. There's so many kids that actually in my opinion probably get quite bogged down, and probably even some of you know what I'm talking about when you don't fit in perfectly and you are like just going to be affected the rest of your life by that kind of judgment. Schools in general are not good anymore. Nathan said, "Hey, Nathan, how are you?" Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like people act like there's all these well-rounded, well-adjusted people coming out of the public school system when clearly, like we all know, that's not the case. So I don't know why people depend so much on them to do everything for their kids. But I do understand, like some people really can't do anything but work. Have discernment, people. The Lord is the shepherd, Max said. I checked it on medical school, Nathan said. If children have a good foundation at home, then they will be fine in school, Peachwood. I do agree with that, Peachwood, for the most part. But there's always exceptions. Like I said, I believe there's exceptions, but it is the parents that like are the biggest. I don't know how to say it. The teachers are like held to a curriculum, told what to teach, how to teach it even. I really feel bad for teachers and they can't easily discipline kids. They're going to come off as something or some kind of hateful bigot or something or another if they call out the stuff. Um and I really do feel for them. It is the parents' fault. It is. And but still it's like late stage capitalism. So many people can't help that they can't focus on their kids that much. But then again, I know you probably shouldn't have kids if both of you are working like 80 hours weeks. I home my kid with only dogs. He's panting right now. I checked my facts in medical school, and that's not my real name or picture. Okay, Nathan. Custom air fresheners, Mirror Tech said again. We need to talk to find solutions. Charlie Kirk had it right. J Red, yeah, don't just read the Bible, ask God if it's true, asked the Burnside. J Red, I agree with you. That's one thing I liked about Charlie and one thing I missed about like he did seem like a genuine person in that like he did like talking to people. But I think he was a little stunted. Another thing they brought up, like there's just little clips that get shown, like the black pilot thing. This was in the town hall with Barry Weiss and Erika Kirk. And they're like, oh, if they could only see the full context. And I'm like, there is no full context. You don't have to see the full context. And he says, if I see a black pilot, I don't like that I think this, but I think, oh no. And that's I've said this before. Forgive me, and I can't remember what I recorded or what I said already in this. Like, that is so racist. That's racist. They have to go through so much training, and people like Charlie Kirk don't understand that because people like Charlie Kirk have never had a job, let alone been in a career like with flying. Like, don't they have to have something like 2,000 hours in the air before they can fly on their own? Something like that. Like, it's like a lot of work to prove yourself. And sometimes I wish DEI wasn't a thing just so people like that would shut the fuck up. But then I think it does have to be a thing because of people like that are so obviously outwardly racist that if we didn't have certain measures put into place and misogynistic, then they wouldn't hire anybody. that was female or minority. And they've proven the more diversity in a company, the more productive they are. It the companies that are, like, homogenous, they're not as productive. It just kinda I don't know, it kinda makes sense to me. And once again, in nature, compare everything to nature, permaculture principles. Diversity is healthy. You will be better. Everything in the environment is better the more diversity there is. Ask a young adult to name 10 countries, Nathan said. I'm gonna ask my son that. I'm sure he'll be able to say 10 countries, but that is scary. There's so many people, they want us to not be critical thinkers too. And I noticed how they took like reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is so important, and that starts so young. Like I can do that with my nonverbal kid. I mean, it's just like discussing it with him. But to read something, ask questions, analyze it, and like hash it out in different ways. That's something that we did a ton of. And I'm not just saying this, but my older kids are, like, super smart, and they surprise me all the time, like, just the things they say is like, "I didn't think about that," and, like, it's I just love seeing them critically think in real time. "Hi, Big Nook, how are you?" "When your husband passes and you go cry on every channel, podcast, and platform you can, it just seems off." Oh, the original JG. No, I pray every day I die before my husband, first of all, so that better be the case. And, I'm honest, like, I know myself, I wouldn't be able to be on TV in, like, freaking beauty queen makeup, all smoky eyes, like, dabbing one eye over and over. No, I wouldn't be able to, like, I would be a mess. I know I would. I know I would be like some women say, like, I wouldn't women that lost their husbands, I couldn't talk for weeks or months without breaking down because. Uh, Having to watch my grandma lose my grandpa, who she was with for over 50, married to for over 50 years. The sadness in the room sitting next to her was so palpable. I'll never forget that feeling. And I was too young to like now, if it happened now, I would talk to her more. Like I felt like so like, what do I say? What do I do? I was really young and like I'll just never forget that kind of grief I felt just sitting on the couch with my grandma in the recliner in her living room after grandpa's funeral, and it was a beautiful funeral with Scottish bagpipes. He was Scottish, and it was so freaking cool. Such a nice service. And I'm glad I got to be there with her. But like, no, you guys, I guess anybody that doesn't understand how like fucked up her behavior is has never been around. And I know that was 50 years of marriage compared to five, but in a way, it's even more tragic because he didn't get to watch their kids and grandkids grow up. Like, isn't that like even like gonna tear at you in a certain way? Like, I teach my tuition student how to listen. Y'all ever seen those old-time single-room schoolhouses where they all had all ages listen to the same teacher? Something like that would help with socializing, Lydia. Moonshiner, yeah, it could. Um, I don't, I think that's not going to be like the quickest way to move everybody along, like teaching everybody the same subjects. I went to school where we had like second and third grade class together, which was in California. I don't know why they did that. All systems are, I said school, all systems are collapsing. We're in a hyperdrive and unprecedented circumstances are on the horizon. Yeah, Max, I don't disagree with you. Nathan said they are being hired with lower scores. Are you talking about pilots? You have to go through so much training as a pilot. DEI is absolutely dangerous, Little Miss said. The Silver Wanderer. I don't have a headband on all the time. I don't know what you mean. Sometimes you cannot be softy soft with hyperactive kids. Okay, bossy truthy. Yeah, every child is different. The terms you need to take to discipline them, that's for sure. Well, it really sucks that there's so many people that are like so bigoted because in a perfect world we wouldn't need DEI, but like I do understand the more people go like raging against it. And it's like talking about Helen Andrews' article Women Ruining the Workplace, but she has no real ground to stand on. Like the only thing she has to say is like we don't believe in going to the moon or nuclear power in gossip. And then she says the reason why women are so detrimental in the workplace is because they gossip. then they don't face things front on, which, like, I don't agree with. I'm sorry, if you're a woman, if you're, like, a business-minded woman, everybody's like, they're too masculine, they're too assertive, boss babes, act too much like men, but then they turn around and say things like, "They're incapable, they're just not, like, assertive enough," and it's like, I thought the problem was once we started working full time, we were more like men, and then they turn around and say we're not, and, I forgot why I brought up that point. I completely agree about the reading comprehension. Thank you, little miss. But yeah, black kids always picked me last and picked games. They were right because I was not better than them, Johnny. Man, China, I think students should clean the school every day, like in Japan. Maybe they won't take schooling for granted. She couldn't even go past second grade. Oh, I didn't know they do that. I'm 38 years old. That's That's, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about that, but they definitely take education more seriously over in Japan, and, like, I feel like that we've just been, like, sold out to corporations. I'm sorry, I have, like, a little head cold coming on. I'm gonna make sure there's nothing hanging out my nose, I'm sorry, but, like, pray for me. I need to take an airborne because, I cannot get sick this week. I'm back, just had to tend the wood burners. That's cool, Bill. I hope you're staying warm. Of course, all kids are super smart. Yeah, I think they are in their own ways, you know? It just takes somebody to sit down with them and develop their talents sometimes. I have a question. Have you ever seen Dr. Carlin Borisenko on YouTube? No, little miss. What does she do? What does she talk about? Hi, Homer dude. How are you tonight? Nathan said dress code should be in schools. I was shocked having to go to high school recently, seeing how the girl dressed. I was disgusted. Oh, I know, Nathan, oh my gosh, and, like, sometimes I go to Walmart and I'm like, "Why are you letting your, like, little" they're little girls to me, and they're, like, in sports bras and hot pants. I'm like, "This is crazy." Like, we need to teach oh my god, it's just crazy. Yeah, I know, I think it too, and then, like, I was asking, I'm like, "Isn't that against the dress code?" And they were like, "Yeah, but nobody does anything about it." I was like, "Oh my god." Okay, I just graduated my grandma's 100th birthday, she's doing good, Jeremiah. Oh, that's so cool, Jeremiah. Happy birthday to your grandma, Bill. I had a neighbor, she lost her husband. They were an older couple. She didn't hardly eat anything in 3 weeks. I called her every single day for a couple of years and she got cancer and she passed. That's so sad. Yeah, my grandma passed away within 2 years of him passing. And I was glad that they both got to pass at home. I know nobody asked, but she passed away on her own at home. And um, a family member found her pretty soon because somebody was always checking on her and just always thought that, she was ready to go. Hi, Sebastian. Don't worry, Trump is taking care of everything. Oh, acid burn. I taking care of the destruction of everything. Trump is taking care of the controlled demolition and pushing the button and it'll boom, boom, boom. When I told my tuition student to look at the sky and say thank you, God, first thing he replied was, "There is no God in the clouds." Oh, Nathan, DEI is enforced by government, not the best get hired under DEI. I understand why people don't like it, but I also understand why it was even a thing in the first place because I feel like a lot of the same people that are hiring people would just not hire somebody even if they did have the merits. And like I'm big person enough to be like, this Helen Andrews, I can wrap my mind around like masculine and feminine energy and saying the more feminine energy dominance certain corporations, certain jobs, certain sectors get, the worse. If there was actual factual proof for that, and like look at it as like a masculine and feminine thing, not like man versus woman thing and that would make more sense to me, but no, it doesn't make sense blaming like everything on women when things have only gotten more productive and better. So I started to say this earlier, and whoever is probably not in here anymore, in 1920, 1910, 20% of women were in the job force. Okay. So then it was like it went from like 37 to 57% like in the like 60s and 70s, it was like 37% during this time where everybody thinks all women were at home. Almost half of women were working. And think about like how many of these women were wives? You know, when we talk about 37% of women working, they're not literally all going to be married women with children, right? But like just like think about it. 37% of women worked, even when it was like leave it to Beaver days. And then it went up to 57, like it's gone up to 57% where it is now. It got up to 60% and then it dipped down a little bit. And a lot of that probably has to do with people doing stuff like I'm doing, like since COVID and stuff. Um, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I see you back in chat a bit. Hope you're doing well. Have a good night. Feel better soon. Oh, thank you, Hummer Dude. I feel good. It's just like congestion, but thank you. Yes, UFC. I have three sons. Can everyone please say tutti frutti in Scottish? Thanks. Tutti frutti? How would you say that? I need some advice from someone who isn't biased. Well, I'm 23 and I'm in love with a 46-year-old woman. Our relationship means a lot to me, but my mom is upset and refuses to accept it because they're around the same age. I'm torn. What should I do? Well, UFC fighter, if this is a legit question, you really are with somebody 23 years older than you. Uh, are you living together? If you were my son, I would try to I wouldn't try to persuade you actually because I know that you can't really persuade somebody out of that. But yeah, just keep in mind 20, 30 years from now, you're going to be still in quite possibly the prime of your life while she's a senior citizen. And it might be fun now, but the more time you spend with her might drastically alter your life. Hire people on merits. That's it. Please do regarding a pilot. Yeah, but Nathan, you know what I mean? Like they have to train so much. They don't just like get a job as a pilot and get to go up in the air. My mom is watching you with me, Jay. Oh, that's cool. Women started working because of World War I. Yeah, that's when it went, yeah, you're right, from like 20% to 37%. And that's kind of like stayed in there. Most women that went in didn't stop. And I think it was, or I, most of them didn't. Once again, you like making money. It feels good to be productive, to make money. And most of us, we are always working hard. We always worked on fields, you know, on farms. Like before industrialization, people worked hard. Children had to work. As soon as they came up with the spinning machines to make fibers into, you know, thread or wool or what have you, like I watched this woman talk about how it was like a family effort, and like everybody in the family that had any free time would spend their time spinning because it was a lucrative way to make money. And this is what turned into some women being called spinsters because, like, maybe it just didn't work out for them, or maybe they were completely fine with living on their own their whole lives because they didn't need a man for resources. And then they looked down on those women and were like, oh, those are the spinsters. Because it was like one of the only ways at the time for a woman to make money and live on her own. Um, and women did really well. My grandma that I was just talking about lost her husband. They met. He was a pilot and she worked on planes. Isn't that the cutest thing in the fucking world? And they have the sweetest picture of them with their like military or whatever uniform she had on. I don't know exactly what it was. She wasn't in the military, you know, she was like a riveter or something like that. Um, eh, a cutie snow bunny. UFC, I'm 23. Oh, I already read that. Um, did you put that comment twice, or am I just I'm 28 and gay AF. Good for you, Orange Sunrise. Pink taco is always good, Anthony said right underneath it. Hi, Nick. How are you? Well, if you're living together, UFC, I guess, you know, you might as well try to like make it work. I just think you need to be open and honest with your communication. And if you really want to make a lifelong partnership out of that, like that's a big difference. You know what I mean? You just have to be prepared for that. And I've seen some people that are, you know, happy, but I'm not a huge advocate for age gaps that wide, honestly. But at the same time, I'm not in your shoes. Are there any kids? Does she have kids? Do you want kids? I am with an older woman. I can't stand listening to young women talk. Nathan. I know when guys talk about how they want like an 18-year-old, I'm like, I couldn't imagine like wanting to be with somebody that was so young. Like 18-year-old Lydia? Oh my God. I wouldn't want to be around my own self when I was 18 years old. Even though I was a good mom at 19, I'm just saying when it comes to like the relationship stuff, Nathan, while you are old, you should be with older women bossing you. Hi from Italy, Rome. Hi, Frankie. It's so cool. People all over the world. This chat has been way more active than I thought it would be. I don't know. I did think like my most viewed video ever is Charlie Kirk in the title, so I shouldn't be surprised at something with Erika Kirk. But I did genuinely want to say that like it's completely done as far as like trying to figure out what's going on with her. She is clearly on the side opposing trying to get justice for Charlie, in my opinion. Now you've got boss babes and say they run around asking why men don't want them. Yeah, I think a lot of people are like off balance, but I don't think the women are wrong for wanting to be independent. You know what I mean? I feel like it's the men that are like against being with a woman that's independent and doesn't need him. They're the ones that need to evolve. I'm 48 and I have a 9-month-old baby. Think about you raising them up. How long will I live? My woman is 33. What, Ronnie? I don't understand. I was passed over for my promotion at Taco Bell due to DEI. Rod Sachs said I was going to be lead custodian. App does vintage. Candace and Erica are both in on it. They're friends and putting on a show. App does vintage. I said that earlier. I wouldn't doubt if Candace was controlled opposition. Excuse me. The whole thing is really weird to me. I've never trusted Candace, but I do support like what she does. But it is, you guys, it is very odd the way that she got with her husband, the way that he did, the way that Charlie got with Erica. Or is this just the way that people move when you're like this jet setting person? Like I'm out of touch with the way they live, just like they're out of touch with the way we live. Just doesn't make sense to me that like you barely spend any time with this person and you get engaged to them and then like you start like popping out the babies. It's like literal like royal monarchy shit. And I know that's what a lot of people do. But when you're like, and it's just it feels like it might be arranged. I'm 15 when my mother keeps saying I'm like a 50-year-old. Oh, JC. Well, that's probably a good thing, really, honestly. Look at the police force with 100-pound women running around with a gun or a 300-pound woman. How did they pass physical tests? Oh, Nathan, don't even get me started. You know that police, they have to have, or maybe this isn't a thing in every state, but their IQ has to be below a certain number. Like they don't want police that are like, um, you know, even, I shouldn't say that. I know there's plenty of police out there that are smart, but I'm just saying the prerequisites are very interesting. And yeah, I've also seen really big fat cops that were guys. Erica is Candace. That's the truth. Erica wears blackface and becomes Orange sunrise. That's really funny. Thank you, Homer. It's a weave. Are you talking about Erica's hair? Because my hair isn't. We need more bossy babes, bossy, truthy. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing when women, I think that a fully developed person, and I say this as a stay-at-home mom, can stand on their own. And it's that, oh no, just like recently, this woman went viral on TikTok saying that she felt like a scared little girl when her husband left her, which like she knew it was a long time coming. She had made content about how they were on the road to divorce. And then when he said, I'm filing now, she gets like all like, I haven't worked in 10 years. And like this, it was just silly to me. And then it comes out that she was a teacher and she is still a licensed real estate agent. So she can make money. But it is intimidating. It is scary to go from like not making money to like getting back in the workforce. But it's not impossible. Police force and fire department have lowered physical standards to allow women in, thanks to EI. Well, Nathan, a lot of it probably is they have trouble getting people too, don't you think? I know the police department around, God, there's one police department in the county over that pays like $15 an hour. I'm sure that's part of it, but they have trouble getting anybody. So they're probably just trying to get any like warm body that they can in some of these places. Women just don't like my small hedgehog. That's why I don't do anything with my life. No point. Oh, orange sunrise. Are you talking about your physical parts? Because you know there's only nerves in like the first few inches of the vagina anyways. So you know what you're doing in other ways, most women don't really care about that much. It's true. There were things I would say, maybe I should like start a Patreon. Like there's things I want to say that I just don't think are appropriate on YouTube. Can you post where you got that info on cops and IQ requirements? Well, it was for a specific state, and I'll go look it up because there's definitely a cop that told me that. Millennial like handouts and digital creator. Millennials like handouts. Police officer, I think everybody likes handouts. Don't make enough for the jobs they do and risk. El Malo, yes, you're right. No, they don't. It's crazy how much EMTs make too. They start off at like 14 or 15 an hour. People that we depend on for life-saving measures. That's wild to me. And yeah, my son-in-law is a police sergeant. Oh, that's cool, Alvin. Because people are waking up, that's why there are not that many police anymore. Yeah, that's probably another part too, Wes. It's not worth it. Like it used to be really good pay and benefits, and now it's like crappy pay and maybe some good government benefits. I don't know. And so I really do respect cops. There's more good ones than bad ones, I think. And from Rhode Island, and I have friends who are cops, and I make more money than they do. Omolo said, "Hey, Greg, how are you?" Joey is unemployed. I'm sorry to hear that, Joey. If you want to be employed, I hope you find it soon. $50,000 a year in Detroit, in a city like Detroit. Police departments don't have a universal IQ minimum, but some set maximums, believing overly intelligent candidates might get bored, quit, or question orders, which was upheld in that. Thank you, Mr. Carey. See, I'm not just saying that, which was upheld in this case, Jordan versus New London case, IQ 125 deemed too high. Most departments use cognitive tests. So I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. This was like one state too. I don't know if it's like like it's just that it varies through police departments. So just because you know somebody that is a policeman doesn't mean they have a low IQ. They do have a threshold, though. They don't want your IQ to be too high. This is true. I'm in South Central Kentucky, Greg. Romanians like handouts, pickpocket. Oh, JC, not all Romanians. Um, the things about people being unemployed is because they want to, but they are milking up open jobs, not enough people that don't want to work. Yeah, well, a lot of the employment is part-time. Like, I understand. I'm not saying that it's what you should do, but I understand people that look at making 5 to 7 to $800 a week, living in an expensive place where that's not it's like, why even bother? But I know that's not, like, a reason to not try. I think we absolutely need police officers. Yes, Sebastian, definitely. And you look into the history of police, it started off as a way to help people, the elite in town. It was like just the wealthy people. It was like their security, basically, how the police force started. And even though I know there's a lot of good people in the police force, it's just important to remember, like, you know, just to know your rights. My job pays amazing, but not everyone can handle hard work. Yes, Al Malo. Yeah, you have to work really hard or work really crazy hours to make a decent wage a lot of the times. Chicago's dangerous. Yeah. Clothes are overrated. My I drive a big truck. That's cool, Greg. Yeah, people knock on police till they call them. Yeah, Alvin, I get that. Yeah, right. I've been there for 3 years and I bring home almost 1,300 a week. Oh, that's good, Al. I'm glad that I hope you don't have to work more than 40 hours to do that, but that's good. I mean, that's decent. Um, and everybody needs to like live below their means. And we don't have that conversation enough. I know a lot of people do, but it's all about like the hustle culture and like just work more, which is true sometimes, but it's like it's becoming less true across the board. You can't just say all you need to do is get another job in this climate. Um, I think that um, living beneath our means, they don't want to promote that because that's like not going to drive the consumerism. Put more lip gloss on. I'm getting ready to go. That's cool. You're 53 and retired. Good for you, Alvin. The only thing that internet people know how to do is type on a keyboard, Jettison. Well, I don't make a lot of edited videos, but edited content is no joke. Think about how in most situations it's a whole production team. You have people doing all these jobs that like when you make edited YouTube video, I know mine are shit, okay? I'm not saying mine are great. The people that do make good edited content, that is a lot of fucking work. You try writing a script. You try filming, you try doing the voiceover with the script, having good timing and like having accuracy, and the audio has to be just right. I don't ever fault anybody for the quality of their content because I know how hard it can be. Um, Put them credit cards up. Yeah, Alvin, I try to teach my kids not to even get credit cards. Of course, some of us have to play the game and build our credit up, but um, your necklace says you need better in life. What do you mean? Buy silver and gold don't work more. Let your money work for you. Oh, yeah, if more people had extra money, I'm sure they would. Hi, Young, how are you? Most of us don't even have enough money to save, let alone buy silver or gold, but that is good if you have extra money. I want to make a video about like useful things to buy if you have Christmas money or even to ask for Christmas. I know it's going to be like a week before Christmas. So, but like if you want to live like a healthier lifestyle, it's like this is the time of year you can, like somebody on a low income, one income, make the investments and things to help you live better, like a countertop water filtration system or like stainless steel pots. If you're cooking with nonstick still, you shouldn't be doing that. And like, plastic, glass snapware. We have snapware instead of Tupperware. I love that stuff so much. Makes a great gift. That's a great housewarming present. It will be a hit if you have like the extra $36 to spend on a snapware from Walmart. It's like glass Tupperware. They have plastic lids, but the Tupperware part is glass, in different shapes. Um, and you can get glass cookware. There's like things that I was thinking about. Like, this is usually when I try to, use money for staples. Like, if we do get money, I know not everybody gets money from family, right? Um, I know a lot of people are related to boomers that have like tons of money and then they don't believe in Christmas presents. They happen to be the wealthiest people in the family, but they don't believe in Christmas presents. It's just convenience. Content creation isn't the same as being a keyboard warrior. Oh, yeah, Jettison, you're right. Yeah, that's fair enough. Oh, thank you, Annette. I love you too, Annette. You're not old enough to have kids. Oh my gosh, Greg, I have an 18-year-old. Kentucky is a nice state. Yes, it was big on coal mining. Yes. Best gift is money and easier 7th grade. Wow. You have seven? And yes, money is also very nice to get as a gift. Oh my gosh, especially in these times. I'm sure we're not the only people that are like, how can you use this? Does your car need new brakes? Like, just like whenever you do get money. We were hanging out with a couple the other night, and like the way it was so funny to me, the husband was bringing up the tax return and like, we're gonna get this with our tax return. We're planning this, and when we get the tax return, I'm like, that's like how we are. And I'm sure most people with children, like what you're gonna spend that tax return on, like what home repairs, what you're gonna pay off your car or something like that. And like it should be like that during any time you get a chunk of money. And a lot of people probably already think like that, but I don't know. I don't think everybody does. Nathan said 49 and semi-retired. That's awesome, Nathan. Good for you. Hi, Abasia. Abasia. We don't gift the adults in our family, just the kids. I do understand that, Alvin. But I just don't understand like having enough money that you brag about spending $70,000 on imported tile for your pool, but you don't believe in getting Christmas gifts. Yeah, I believe semi like Ivasi said. Um, oh, thank you, Greg. Weaselman, it was a ceiling tile. Bill Clancy. The other things I cook in is cast iron stainless steel. I do not cook in aluminum. I do not cook with any nonstick pots or pans. Yeah. Oh, that's good. You don't cook with any. Good. Um, I do use aluminum foil. I use like aluminum baking sheets, but even those, like I use a lot. I was thinking like my especially my middle son and my younger son, but like but I would wonder if he has all these microplastics in his body because I've always been like really careful about. But then again, I mean, he had a plastic sippy cup. Like all kids have their plastic sippies. But it's interesting to me the way that people talk about microplastics now. Like, oh no. Um, I'll never forget when I was at a friend's house and she was microwaving her kids' oatmeal in it wasn't microwavable safe bowl. And like she went to stir it and there was like this picture. It's like one of the cartoony dishes is like some Disney character, and like the film was bubbling up, and like the film, you could hear in the film this like plastic she was like spinning. Oh my gosh. And these people didn't believe in giving their kids meat. I'm just like, you don't believe, you think meat is toxic, but you're like, oh, hey, acid burn, thank you. Mamet to Fantalia. Mamet to Fantalia. And got a membership. Yay. Right. I wouldn't spend 500 bucks. Um, Porcelain parts are okay if they're not chipped. Yeah, porcelain, I like Corelle. I don't think Corelle is porcelain, but I like whatever Corelle is made out of. We have a bunch of Corelle plates and bowls, although the vintage Corelle might be more toxic. There was a lady Rachel Flair, it's YouTube. If you're bored, go have fun watching somebody else. Hi, Ken, how are you? There are no genders, so I have been told. Oh, Nathan, you want to start that conversation now? Oh, gosh. Well, I feel like I'm just like losing my train of thought now. We had a very good live, and I appreciate all of you that stuck in here for a long time. Um, but not the non-biodegradable foreign substances called cheap plastics, moonshiner. I just love smoking gorilla cookies. What does that mean, JC? Oh, thank you, Chris. You was going off air 45 minutes. I do that all the time as a burn. Well, I said I was going to go, and I was like, God, there was like a bunch of people in here. And then I feel like I can't leave when there's getting good traffic, but I feel like it's died down for good now. My bank has LGBTQ advertising everywhere. Do they ask you if you want English? Say easy peasy, explore world. Yeah, I do think that all that stuff, I mean, they did that the year before last. It was like everything for Pride Month. And then did you notice this last Pride Month? They didn't do that. It's like they just manipulate people. They don't, none of those companies actually care about the LGBTQ community. They don't. They just like use it to manipulate people and to look good. And then when they realize some people were getting tired of that being shoved down their throats, then the next year they're like, none of their icons, like the year before in 2024, like everything was like rainbow, like everybody's icon, everybody's, haha, wait till body count is high as your age. No, Marie, not quite. Weed is a crutch for the weak. Oh, Alvin, it's a you're not wrong for some, but it's a medicine for some too. Nathan, trying to deal with banking stuff, and I put down non-binary on my paperwork. Yeah, I saw this lady. It was so great. She was talking about how she puts down human being and and she's asked all that kind of stuff. Show your Christmas tree. I don't I have a little Christmas tree in here actually. Sorry about my messy end table. There's my little Christmas tree. I have a big one too in the living room. But yeah, I thought that. I'm like, I should put it. So when I do my edited videos, like this all shows, that's why the candles are even on there. But I should do some edited videos where I clean my end table off and then I put the Christmas tree on it. I gotta get on out of here, lady. It was nice to see you. Have a good night. Love you. God bless. Love you too, Bill. I hope you have a warm, cozy night. Good night, Bill. Can I get you under the tree for Christmas? No, Harvey, because my husband is the only one who can get me. But yeah, how are you okay with your people dying out? Marie, that is such a funny thing to say. My people. Are you talking about white people, Marie? Because I am 25% not that. So I guess I'm fine with 75% of my people dying out if it means the earth is going to implode and renew upon itself. And I don't look at like all white men like this, but I do, if we're gonna like talk about how anybody's ruined the planet, like it's like white men. Is it like something crazy, like 4,000 chemicals in use and only like 7 or 800 of them have been thoroughly tested. And then we all wonder why like 1 out of 3 people get diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. And it's because of like the greed and the arrogance of men. I identify as whatever is cool. That's cool. Uncle Jay, hello from New Zealand. Stumbled across your stream. I think you're pretty. Merry Christmas. Oh, thank you so much, Mary J. I hope you have a good Christmas too. But yeah, I am okay because I believe that this cycle happens the way it's supposed to. But I definitely am not like, You guys remember, I need to find this. There was a Time magazine where it was like by the year 2000 something, this is going to be it was something that was like kind of in our lifetimes. I thought it was like 2050. And like, I don't know if that's supposed to like be like scaremongering or something, but I don't believe that the white race is gonna like die out anytime soon. I just don't. So the way they already projected that, everyone dogs America, but they want to come here, Alvin said. Yeah, that's true. But I understand why they're sick of America like going and trying to butt in, only during wartime when it's convenient for us to take some resources. Like I do understand why some people don't love America. Nick, thank you for liking it. Okay. What have non-whites made? Alvin, you're not one of those, are you? There's a lot of things that a lot of inventions. Peanut butter for one, right? I was just talking about this amazing fashion designer I never even heard of before. And I'm not like a fashion connoisseur, but I am like I was surprised to hear the woman that designed Jackie O's wedding dress to JFK was this black woman who was like known to be a very good designer. And she was. She made some of her gowns were amazing. And I know that's not inventing. Somebody already mentioned it earlier. There was black women who helped NASA like design the spacecrafts, like use the math for the come up with the math for the space missions, like things that they can't recreate nowadays. Supposedly, they can't do it again because the same people aren't here. It's just really interesting. I definitely think that the only reason we don't hear in every music genre ever, Alvin, was created by black people. Seriously, like every music genre started by black people and we I mean it, country, like everything. Rock and roll, Led Zeppelin, totally ripped off black artists. And I love Led Zeppelin, but some of their songs are a literal complete rip off without acknowledging or giving the original musicians credit. A woman invented Kevlar, but men invent most things because we are more interested in things and women are more interested in people. I like that answer, Nathan. I agree with that, Nathan. I think that, like, even if we were completely equal in every way, societally, men would probably still invent more things the same way that men just like tinker around and fix things and tend to. But that doesn't mean that women can't, right? But hey, honey, what are you talking about? Opera. Oh, opera. Okay, you got me there. Maybe the black people didn't invent opera. When I'm talking about like modern musical genres, rock and roll, country, well, we know they started rap and hip hop. Well, that's the only thing we'll give them credit for starting. But black people really are like responsible for starting rock and roll and hip hop. I mean, I'm sorry, country. Um, well, and I didn't know a woman made Kevlar. That's really interesting, Nathan. I invented the weed eater when I was 8 years old, but there was no weeds or grass in my basement, so I just forgot about it. And that was 10 years before the weed eater came out. That's so funny, acid burn. I believe you. Oh my gosh, I've thought that before. And like, when we were growing up and there'd be like the patents and they're like, write in with your idea for an invention. And even when I was a little girl, I would be like, but what if they take it from you? You did have an idea. Then you write it into the patent company and then all of a sudden you never hear from them again, but it comes out like 10 years later. That is what happened with Edison and even Alexander Graham Bell. Look it up. Alexander Graham Bell did not invent the telephone. They still to this day teach kids in school he invented the telephone. When our government, like 15, 20 years ago, maybe even sooner than that, gave, I think I might be getting this wrong, Alexander Marconi, some Italian immigrant, made a patent. Alexander Graham Bell waited until the patent expired and then took his ideas from him. And then we still say Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. That's just like that's another reason why sometimes homeschooling can be superior. You can teach your kids like that, but then you have to tell them, but just so you know, like if you're ever on Jeopardy and somebody else asks you this, they might think is Alexander Graham Bell. Black people invented bluegrass, Irish music, and waltzes, Punisher said. They also invented opera, classical, and Swiss yodeling. You guys, I'm talking about, like, genres here that everybody thinks is, like, all, like, white people. But you did get me good on that one, that's pretty funny. I can laugh at myself. No, I did not fart. And if I did fart, you probably wouldn't hear it. Ask my husband. He's only heard me fart, like, once, I think, in almost 20 years. One guy made faster than Bell. Denny Lee. Acid burn. I come up with the idea of putting plastic down in rows of tobacco just so it wouldn't have to hold the tobacco, but I figured the plastic was too expensive, then I seen it in the fields. Um, Mm. Yeah, I'm sure that's happened a lot in all of humankind. You know what I mean? Like let's think about like people have came up with the same melodies, the same lines to poems even. Black inventors have created numerous essential items and technologies from the gas mask, Garrett Morgan, and traffic signal. Oh yes, Morgan, to the home security system, Marie Van Britton Brown. Thank you so much for saying that, Mr. Carey. Super soaker. Oh yeah, yes, a black was it a man? I'm assuming it was a man invented the super soaker. Um, I invented Moose Tracks ice cream and not a life. Oh, hey, somebody from Louisville or somebody with Louisville in their name. I invented psychology of men. Bossy Truthy. Oh, that's so funny. Um, Peanut butter. Yeah, I said that, Cobart. I know that whoever came up with peanut butter was a black person. Am I wrong, or was it somebody who made up the machine to take the seeds out of cotton, or maybe that was a white man? Statistics for the win. But yeah, it was fun talking to you guys, and I am going to get my butt off of here and actually edit videos. I need to work on my edited content. Who invented Reese's Pieces? I don't know, but I love those. They invented the silence breaker in movie theaters. I don't even know what that is, Punisher. I hope everybody has a good night and a good start to your week. I do members only lives on Monday, so that's funny, Jay. Hi, Jay's mom. You're skipping 70% of my comments. I want to fix why some of the words are blocked. Let me look at what I'm missing of yours. If you don't make a girl fart while you're making love, then you're not giving her enough beans. Oh my God. I didn't see that at all. I come up with the idea. Okay, I saw the plastic and tobacco. I invented the weed eater. I saw that one. My doctor says peanuts are bad for humans. Oh, that's funny. I wonder why. Um, Muslims are are ruining the world now. You think? I just think extreme religious people are ruining the world. I don't think it's just them, but if they're like extreme and yeah. Oh, Jay. Thank you, Jay's mom. Well, love you guys. And I can't believe I was on here for over 2 hours. I hope that I see some of you in the members only tomorrow. And I hope you stay warm. I know it's like really super cold here. Good night.